Can you tell me if it's live, John? I've got no way. I've got no extra screen to bring it up. So can you tell me if it's on YouTube or Twitch?
Hang on then.
I'll do the Inforunners on Twitch. You do it on YouTube. Yep, we're live on Twitch. So I'm going to assume we're live on YouTube. All right, here we go. Getting out with the Inforunners. I'm Execute. I could decide not to show up. Going solo, but I'm at John's house, so John's here with me. How you doing, John? Hello.
I'm not doing too bad. Thank you for asking.
All right, got to make sure everything's working. Let me know if in the chat if you can hear us or not. Yes, we are live now. And I'm trying to get everything up and running. I've had a lot of troubles getting things to work properly, but I cannot see Twitch chat currently. That's my biggest issue right now. So, John, if you're able to open another window and manage Twitch for me, that'd be. So we will get the bot up and running, and that will be normal. I had that working, so just give me. But I am in the UK. I've been here for about, what would it be now, John? 31 hours? About that?
Something like that.
Yeah. About
It
31
is
hours.
Friday. At 2:45 yesterday afternoon, you landed.
Yeah, and it's now like 7. So that's, yeah, about that. About
29, 30 hours.
yeah, something like that. About as long as it took me to damn get here. God, that was a long flight. Um, let's just put it that way. That was, ooh, yeah, that is a slog. Yeah, so Sydney to Dubai was 14 hours. And that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was when we were about to leave Dubai, the generator on the was it A380, just died. And so we had to sit on the tarmac for 2 hours while an engineer repaired it in the searing desert sun. It was, um, I got that sorted. Right, let me get this bot up and running. Right. On the right folder. Yeah. So for Algared, it's 1 a.m. in Indonesia. Really just, but so am I technically. Maybe. Um. Worst part is I had this all organized, and
It's bad. He's mumbling to himself.
yeah, well, I can't find it, John. It's folder here, please. There it is. I run this. Ready? What's running? Back into this. But they normally have 5 screens or 3 screens. Starting bot. John, can you just type something like question, Twitch chat for me? Confirm it's working for me. There we go. Nope. Heap of questions coming in. Sweet. All right, so she's working. I got 3 off YouTube. Take a minute. But yeah, so John's going to be taking care of Twitch for me today because I'm having trouble getting that up and sorted. But as you guys know now, the stream lives or dies on the questions, and obviously I'm going to have John here with me talking about stuff. I asked Piss Poor Pete to join me. Apparently he's listening, but he just couldn't be bothered joining us. So, wait, Space Tomato raided? Did he? I didn't even. Wait.
No, I think he said he's in Space Tomatoes channel watching.
Oh, okay, right. Fair enough. Right. Well, I'll have to figure out how to get I don't know how I what I did, but I can't get Twitch chat to work. Thought I logged in. Anyway, yeah. So everything's kind of broken. I had to rebuild everything to a point. Well, it took me to come from the other side of the world to do that, but good to see you here, Sunil. Right. Let's have a look what questions we've got. John, do you want to read the questions, John? So I can focus on
Okay,
driving?
first question is from Stimpack.
Yep.
Question: if you could only own one ship, sub-capital size or above, what would you pick?
Subtitle. First, I'm going to say thank you to Stimpack Steve because this is his laptop that he lent me. Very nice of him to do so. I'm kind of impressed with what it's able to do, to be quite honest. But yeah, thank you for that. So one ship. I'll let you answer this firstly, John. One ship that is what did it say? Subcapital and above. That's what he said.
Yes,
So
yes, that
that's
is what it said.
yeah. So that is what do you call it? That's Polaris sizing up.
What's
Or sub? No, he
the
said subcap. So that's large. So that's
yeah,
Caterpillar and up type of thing.
sub-capital size
Yeah,
or above?
yeah. So
But
Connie, so it's S4. It's S4 and up, basically.
myself, I think I would go with the Arastra.
Yeah, that'd be you. Just for people that don't know, John's really into mining. Um, so yeah, that'd be John. So you'd take the
I
Arastra
am.
over the Orion.
Oh, well, yes, because I've got an Orion. I'm waiting for an Orion, but the Arastra doesn't take so many people to operate. But I would change that. It would either be the Arastra or the Reclaimer. Both are good money earners.
Okay. Um, radio. I'm just going to turn my mic down a bit, John, because you're still cracking my mic from all the way across the room. I don't know how you're doing that, but that's a miracle. But you're doing it.
A big mouth.
Yeah, but I know. Man, you should have seen him hoe down that Indian that Diane made for us, which is very delicious. Diane's sitting here watching, so we're just
Okay.
looking
What ship would you have?
I kind of look at the ones I own, right? And you're the same. Like, I think that's an obvious one. So I own a Kraken, an Orion, a Reclaimer, a Polaris, a Nautilus. Um, technically, that would also be subcap. So that would be the Perseus.
No, the question was if you could only own
Yeah,
one.
so I'm going through the ones that I own, and like, if I have to nail it down to one, it would be the Kraken. It'd have to be the Kraken. It just does so much more than a lot of the other ships. The Endeavor's right up there. Don't get me wrong; you get a lot of gameplay from the Endeavor, but like earn down potential in the Kraken is kind of like unbeatable at this point.
Okay, what does the Kraken do?
It's kind of like a Swiss Army knife because all the little ships that you can put onto it. So you could have prospectors on there, or any kind of small ship that is a fighters or utility or anything like that, and that it essentially allows you to you can deliver them almost like a liberator, right? But you can also take them to different destinations where they wouldn't be able to reach, and it kind of gives you that fleet mentality with inside a kind of mothership. But also you can have the variant that turns it into the flying shopping mall, that kind of is the other side of that, where you could almost have two Krakens, right? You could have a normal Kraken and a privateer, and one is doing all the industrial work and the collection, and the other is selling it. They almost work hand in hand in that way. I guess you could almost have the same thing with a Banner Merchantman, though, and a normal Kraken as well.
Well, actually, yeah, because what you're thinking of is what you can carry on that ship as well, isn't it?
Well, you've got more cargo on the other one. I don't know. That's a tough one, John. It really, again, it, the first you've definitely got more versatility in the normal version, but also you've got, well, look, it's what is it? I think it's 10 shops on the Kraken. I'd have to take out the number of shops on the banner menu, but I know it's not as many in a hot minute. So yeah. All right, next question, John. When you're ready.
Okay, this is from Nov A42. How did the shirt fundraiser go?
Really well. Well, actually, I'm going to let John take this one because John's been the one that's been organising it from this end. So you take that one, John.
Well, basically, the shirts have been ordered, they've been paid for, and hopefully they're going to be ready before we go to CitizenCon.
Hmm. So what was it? The Friday before? I think you said last time we talked.
Yes, they're going to be ready on the 17th, is the Friday.
Hmm.
But we'll go down Monday and have a word with them, and you can actually see what T-shirts they're putting them on yourself.
Yeah. Well, the advantage of that, obviously, John, is like, so when we were talking about this before, I'm giving away the game. Right, hang on. That one's got to go off. And not even here. Right, we just want to have you. Wait, combined. Nope. Anyway, I'll put it back on like that. Anyway, yeah, so the advantage of having John do it locally, other than me and Algared kind of picking an image of a shirt, and what I mean by this is, they have different brands, the way they look at image, John could actually go down to the shop and he could kind of like feel it. So he was able to, I don't know, how would you explain that, John? You saw it in person, I guess is the easiest way to put it, yeah?
Yeah, I actually picked one up and felt it, and it feels a really good quality T-shirt.
Yeah. And I did get, I managed to get most of the names swapped over before they went to print in the US. I think I might have missed one or two people that may have missed out. But I think we might have got all except one person's name for the one that John did. And that's because the person literally called me like 5 minutes after John walked out the door. So yeah.
And is that question okay now for everybody?
Sorry, what'd you say?
You say that question okay for everybody now? Yeah,
Yeah,
so we can go
yeah.
on to the next one.
So where you put the emoji there, right? What me and Algrid normally do is we just do this. So we just do a thumb up like that.
Yeah,
And
I put a smiley face up.
Yep. Yeah, that's fine. We just used to the thumb, and if there's one that we don't want to do, we just no origin thing on it.
Okay, the next one is from Jag Mason.
Yeah.
This is what CitizenCon panels, if any, will demonstrate the advancements in AI stroke NPCs, the PU.
All right. Well, let's go have a look at that because I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't had a lot of chance because Griffin, again, you got to imagine I've been traveling. Griffin did message them to me and asked me to have a look at them, and I haven't really had a very big chance. So what I'm going to do is give me a minute because again, I'm on this tiny little screen. I got to look for. I know I said.
But I could have a quick answer of that
Oh,
for
you
what
go
they're
ahead.
doing at
You
the
go ahead.
moment.
Yeah.
But I've been in the PTU, and we did a couple of bunkers, and then we did a distribution center, and the AI in the distribution center actually came hunting us. They were a lot better than what the distribution centers were beforehand. And that they were crouching down behind hiding places and popping up, and they were actually overrunning each other as they were moving up. So they were actually working really well in the PTU.
That's improvements again as we, what was that other technical test you were doing when I got here last night?
The tech preview.
Was it 2,000 people? You said.
Yes. In the one time I jumped in, there was 1,793
And
players in the server, but it wasn't good.
it wasn't good, but wasn't the last test like 1,000? So they're definitely pushing the limits.
No, I thought the last test they dropped it down to that 800 cap.
Okay, fair enough. But I'd still say that's progress. A 2,000 test, that's ridiculous.
I've never seen so many people getting onto a train in New Babbage.
Well, that sounds nuts to me. The fact that you're able to do it though,
The fact was, as we were getting onto the train, I'm just in a flight suit. I hadn't changed anything,
Right.
and the rush actually knocked me to the ground, incapacitated. Then the rest of the people running over me killed me, and I ended up in hospital.
Really?
Really?
Well deserved. Well deserved. Yeah, they know you too well, John. That's the problem. Right. Okay, so let's go through these panels. So, Brave New Worlds, right? So, introducing Genesis to the. This is, why the hell did he send this? Introducing. I'm going to open this on the actual website. It's probably going to take me a minute to find it. Roberts Space.
But what he wants to know is what panels do you think will demonstrate the
Yeah, well,
advancements?
I need to go through them. I haven't looked at them, John. That's what I'm
Oh,
trying to
then
say.
sorry,
So
mate.
we'll just go through the whole thing. No, that's all right. And this is one thing that I'm not used to here is how you can actually just deny all the cookies and stuff. It's so weird compared to back home where they're just all forced. Opt out preferences, allow selection, allow all cookies. What's my selection?
But
Necessary.
I just click allow selection.
All right. CitizenCon. Is it under CitizenCon where it was put up, John?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
What do we got here? Limited
I should
time.
have given you my other monitor and you
No,
could have
here we
messed
go.
about then.
What's what I was trying to tell you? I need a second monitor. That's fine. All right. Brave New Worlds. Introducing. What does it say here? No, it's not going to let me zoom. Right. So I will. No, I want open tab. There we go. Right now I can read it clearly. Right. It says introducing Genesis, the innovative suite of technologies and processes for Star Engine. So that's talking about. I don't know. You tell me, John. But that tells me the. What is it?
But the fidelity and scale required to fill an entire universe.
Yeah, but it's the
They're
planetary.
talking about everything in there. So that's got to be AI as well.
But it's no, it's planetary tools. That's all the you know how the planetary tech V5 and all that. Same as last year with all the God rays and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I got you because it's all about the
yeah,
star engine.
yeah, yeah. So have a look at this. This is the one that I think is AI here. I could be wrong, but it says it's the social universe. It's the
No,
people.
no, that's just about the people you meet in the game.
Well, let me read it, John. It says the people you meet in the game, bonds you that bring you to life in the verse. Dive into how we're evolving social features. Okay, so social features. Okay, from personal one-on-one interactions to massive gatherings with hundreds or even thousands of players. So that's even org tools as well on that one.
I don't think there's one on that panel for
Yep.
Saturday, mate. Unless it see redacted would have been Squadron 42, wouldn't it?
Yeah. All right. So Dress to Kill. I heard about stuff like this probably 2 or 3 years ago. So I'm just going to read this one. It says from high fashion to dynamic fashion, discover starwear and exciting new character focused specializations that let you define the identity, take on challenging ahead. So I heard them about designing fashion specifically tailored more at women and stuff like dresses and stuff like that. But I have to assume that comes into things like makeup, and things like that. Like maybe some more female oriented gameplay well. I don't know. I think that's interesting though. Um, it takes all types to fill out a universe. I mean, beyond Pyro, the fantastic reaches. So this is Nyx. Explore exciting new frontiers of Star System.
The next page, what's the stars? PvP, PvE, non-combat.
Hang
I
on,
wonder if that's going to
hang on.
explain it.
We're just gonna go through all of them. So here we go. Crafting your
Okay.
home. Explore the fundamental of crafting. So this is the base building. Combine to enable the opportunities for players to ultimately create the future of life among the stars. So yeah, so that'll be um, essentially updates to base building. Probably here updates on the galaxy and things like that as well, and probably the announcement of those new vehicles. But I assume somewhere here there's got to be a ship talk panel. Captains of industry uncover the ships of the ground vehicles that will serve as your primary tools for base building. So that's going to be the Argo CSV and Grey Cat Cav, things like that. So that they're essentially all right. Now the stars destination of Star System 1.0. PvP, PvE, non-cat. What types of game in Star System? If you want answers, join us as we outline the high level of overview of Star System 1.0 and what our so So what I'm seeing there is I'm willing to bet that that redacted is probably more Squadron 42 stuff, and it sounds like day two is like Star Citizen. Is that kind of what you're seeing? So like you've got let's just go through it again. Just the titles. Brave New World is the actual engine itself. The social universe is multiplayer and org tools. Star System mainly. Then you got the cosplay. Doesn't really come to anything. Dress to Kill though is new. So like it's the social and the dressing and all that type of thing. And then what areas they're going to next. He's got a Star System actually. I'm not seeing a lot of Squadron unless it's in that redaction section. What was the
But
original?
that's the next question.
What was the original question, please, John? Just to refresh my memory.
The original question was, what CitizenCon panels, if any, will demonstrate the advancements in NI/NPCs for the PU?
Yeah. And it's going to be, I'm going to be honest with you, it is hard to tell just looking at the ones we've got there. But you will remember last year when they kind of changed up the title, some of them were so vague that you couldn't tell what they were going to talk about. You think about back to the panels that they had about things. Do you remember, John? Like they were vague as hell, and then you went and watched them,
Oh,
and they
yes.
were, and it was basically the title was right, but it was like this is one part of it, but they also talked about 10 other things that weren't even listed. I think they
See,
deliberately are vague and just a broad overview on all these
but it's like the social universe. The
things.
time gap there is an hour and 45 minutes. So that could bring in AI as well as just players.
Real quick, are you guys getting an echo from John at all? Just let me know if you are or not, because he's talking so damn loud that I'm getting hitting two mics with the motherland. Yeah, let me know if you guys get an echo. Just say echo in chat if you get an echo, because I don't know if he's doing that on.
But I shall talk a bit softer then.
Yeah, see, as soon as you do that, John, it disappeared. So I don't know. Yeah, I've turned it down, but I don't know if I can turn it down without it.
Well, Captain Fishstick says yes, but not too bad.
Oh, okay, right. We'll just try and be a bit quiet if you can, John, and I will try to. All right, what's the next one? What you said there was the next
Uh,
question?
the next one is predictions on the redacted, and that's from Daz Really Cool.
Yeah, I think it's Squadron or something. Well, I don't know. You tell me, John. When you read the redacted, what does it say to the left and the right of the word redacted?
UEE.
What does that tell you? That tells me Squadron 42. Is that what tells you, John, or is it just?
Well, I believe so, but as we know, there's been problems with other things and not not Squadron 42 itself.
Hmm. I think we could say safely. You tell me if you think I'm wrong here. At some point during CitizenCon, we're getting some kind of Squadron 40.
Yes, even if it's only a little bit to try it
Yeah.
out.
Yep. And just take note. The venue closes at 9 p.m. That starts at 5:30. That's 3.5 hours of whatever that is. That's huge.
Yeah, but the way I see that, the chat might not be going on that long. What it might do, it might close early, and then you'll have time to have a walk around and see what else is about if you got there late.
Well, we'll put it this way, John. Most of the streams have been like 8 hours long. Now this kicks off at 11. They have a 1 hour pre-show, so that's from 10 to 9. That's 11 hours on the first day. That's the longest I've ever seen, ever.
Yes, but they said they were going to do that because they were making the Sunday a shorter day.
Yeah, this is true. Well, that's because half of it's Atmo esports stuff as well. So, if you're wondering why I keep looking off over there, John's sitting over on that side of the room.
I'm waving. Yeah, look.
You're giving everyone the finger. Why are you doing that? Don't give the finger, like a bitch. Anyway, right, this is why it's not on camera because we can't have nice things. I will say this though, I am actually talking to you guys on a little DJI mic, and I am on the camera that I'll be walking around the floor with. So this is the type of quality that you could expect when me and Algared walk around on the day. Anyway, what else have we got here? Next question, John, if you wouldn't mind.
Now, the next question is from Stimpack Steve again.
Yep.
If you could only have one capital or subcapital ship, what would you choose? He's always done that twice.
Yeah, I realised that as soon as you said the first question. You got to read them before you read them out.
And then from limited respawns.
Yeah.
What were the in-flight meals?
Oh God.
For you.
Oh God, I'm not going to be able to remember them all. I think they're pretty good. I flew Emirates, so I think the last one was like chicken curry and raised beef or something like that, mashed potato. They weren't very big. They're about this big, but then you got all these other little snacks with each one and stuff like that. You usually got like a salad and some fresh fruit and cheese and crackers or something like that. And any drink you wanted, you could have everything. I'm not I don't drink alcohol, but like they had things like red wine or white wine, juices, tea, coffee. But they were okay. Yeah. I think the main problem for me is it's just you're sitting in the same seat for a very long period of time. The
And if
14
you'd seen the size of his ass, you'd realise why he had so many problems.
just like the size of John's head, it's too small. It's like a shrunken head. Anyway, right, but yeah, they were kind of okay, but put it this way, I'll take it over hospital, if that makes sense. Would you agree with that one, John? I don't know. You had much what do you call
I've had quite a bit of hospital food, and I've had a lot of airplane food, and I'd rather go and get my own.
Yep. All right. What's the next one, please, John?
This one's for you, definitely. It's from Nov A42. What is your favourite kind of wallet?
Here's my wallet. Oh, it's in my pocket. So I actually had one of these. I bought it when it first came out, and I had it for so long. It's a Nixon wallet. It's the one you actually saw as that episode a couple of years ago as the spaceship. I think it was only last year, wasn't it? I
Yes,
said prepare your wallets or something like that. That was this.
that was that way.
Yeah, and basically, as the other one was dying, I actually went online and I couldn't find a wallet that was the same as this makeup. And I found a guy on eBay selling them, even though they'd been out of stock for 10 years. I brought everything he had. So well, he only had two of them, but I got them cheaper than what I bought them for originally, and they were in brand new condition, and that'll last me for like years. So I think I'm set for wallets for life, pretty much.
Now,
Is that what
you want
he's
to
really
know what
asking about? Wallet, or is he asking about like a crypto wallet or something?
do you want to know what my favourite type of wallet is?
Here we go. Yeah, tell me.
A full one.
Your money is weird here, though, John. I don't know if any of you guys British.
You're enjoying it.
Well, you stole our tech, or we sold it to you, I think. So they've got the same coins as, or not coins, we call it money, as the Australians invented. But instead of being clever and making it all multicolours like we did, they just went white. So they essentially just took their paper money and put it on plastic. That sounds like boring Britons for you, doesn't it? Anyway, so yeah, they've got
That is
plastic money.
harder to forge than a multicoloured one.
Why is that? Why is it harder to?
I don't know. That's just
No.
what they say.
No, the plastic is harder to forge, right? Because you can actually have layers in the plastic. We invented it, and they even deliberately designed mistakes in it and things like that. And because it's transparent, it's way harder to forge. So when they first came out with it, for example, they would have like a star. So say it's a 5-pointed star, but on one side it would have the bottom 2 points and the top one. And then on the other side it would have just the two side ones, and you would hold it up to the light, and then it would make the full star. So they did things like that. And then obviously, you even have it on yours here, the clear windows and stuff like that. Wish I had an Australian idea to compare, but I didn't bring any. But you guys have the clear windows. I don't know how that's going to work, but yeah. So we have those as well. Anyway.
There you go. Is that what you wanted to know, Nov?
Nova 42, his name is. Physical wallet, not crypto. Wow, the camera does not like the money. I don't know. Maybe. No, it's because I got a green screen on, and the color ink on that one is green. I'll pull out another one. Hey. This one's got red on it. There we go. This is their £10. Got Elizabeth on it, so you might know her. There you go. But yeah, so they put these. That's how you know it's plastic, because it's got that clear stuff on it. I don't know if you can. There you go. You can see my ugly mug through
I
it.
can see it okay.
Yeah, but you're in the same room as me, John. I'm supposed
No,
to.
I'm watching the screen on Twitch, you Wally.
Oh, okay, sure. I'm gonna say, John, if you can't see me on the other side of the room, something wrong with your eyes. Right. Next one, please, Mr. John.
The next question is from Daz Really Cool. Where are you?
I'd be right to tell him the town around here.
Of course you can. Kidderminster.
Yeah, we're in Kidderminster, which is I landed in Birmingham, so we're about 35 minutes, 37 minutes, something like that, isn't it, John?
Well, with the traffic yesterday, it was just over an hour.
Yeah, but there was pretty bad traffic. And the one thing I'll say that I've said, how many times have I said that, John? Now, you know what I'm
About
about to say.
173 times.
Oh yeah, it is so much like Tassie. So Tassie is the second place that got founded after Sydney, and they made a beeline for it because apparently it was so much like home. And until I got here, I didn't realize how much like home it is. The only thing different here is it's obviously got way more people, and a lot more building because they've had more time here. But like the style of the buildings, the food, I think the only thing is obviously 200 years, so some things have changed, like vocab, things like that. But it is very, very similar. Yeah, I can tell you now, if you are someone that is British and you were to come to Tasmania, you would feel at home.
Feel at home.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I feel at home here. I essentially am wearing the same clothes I was wearing as I left, because essentially I went from spring to autumn, and it feels almost the same. It's probably a little colder here though now, because are we in the last month of autumn?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's why it's slightly colder here, which would make sense because we're in the
It
last
felt
month of
chilly
spring.
last night when we walked Diane home and walked the dog.
Yeah, but it wasn't until we got out, as the sun was going. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. I'm liking it here. I'm liking the English feel because it's a lot like home. There's lots of little changes, like I try to how do I explain that as when we went to the supermarket, John? And I told you it was like the cultural thing. So we went into a supermarket here, right? And it felt like a supermarket back home, but some of the items were different. Like so, I'll give you an example. Like
Slightly different names, slightly different styles.
yeah, or you'd get ones like Tim Tams, for example. What do you call them here? Penguins or something like that.
Penguin.
Penguin. Yeah. So you have Tim Tams here, but they're in specialty stores for Australians that live here and stuff like that. So you guys have very similar things.
They sell Tim Tams in the large Tesco supermarkets.
Yeah, close enough. So yeah, there's little changes and stuff like that. But I think the bigger the world gets, the more similar it comes, because a lot of the brand names that are new down there, you can start to see that they've expanded from England and they're trying to get them into Australia and vice versa. Because I've seen American ones do the same. I'd be interested to know though if Australian brands were coming here and vice versa to the US. I wonder if it's working both ways or only one. Yeah. Was there alcohol in the supermarkets, John?
Again.
Do you sell alcohol in your supermarkets here? Do you sell alcohol like beer and?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So there's only one state in Australia that does that. We actually have special shops called bottle-os or like a drive-through bottle shop. So that's a big difference. The only one that does that is, believe it or not, as it always with politicians, is Australian Capital Territory. Where all the state, there's a small little state where Canberra is, and all the politicians have allowed it, so they sell alcohol in the supermarket. But yeah,
I show you,
every other one doesn't.
I did show you the two aisles where they'd got the alcohol.
I didn't really pick up on that, but yeah, probably. Right. What was the other one? The VAT thing with electronics seemed to be a little bit more expensive here, but not by much. Only like £10 or £20 more than they should be, and that was on a couple items around about $200. So yeah, you probably pay more for electronics here. What was that one? We worked out that TV, didn't we? We saw a TV in the supermarket, and it was about
40 inch. It
yeah,
was
I think we
£159.
yeah, and when I worked it out, it should have been about 300 Australian, and it worked out to be like 300. So it should have been
No, Patch 44. I haven't taken him into Aldi yet or Lidl.
yeah, yeah. Well, we went past the Audi, but we've got Audi in Australia, so it's a shit different bucket. But like the Morrisons was different here, but it's so close to Woolworths, it's not funny. Anyone that's Australian will know what I'm talking about. Apparently, they had Woolworths here, you were saying, and they got rid of it. Is that true, John?
Yes, why they got rid of it, I don't know.
Probably because if you know what they've been doing in Australia, they've been price gouging the shit out of people. There's an inquiry, they're going to spend 20 billion to build a watchdog because they got that bad during COVID. Shocking. All right,
Next
next question.
question.
Please, please.
Next
By the way,
question is
hang on, John. Just make sure you get questions in, guys, because there's not a lot of them. So if you want us to keep going, how many we got, John? Left? Probably 15.
1, 2,
So yeah,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 with this one I'm just going to do now,
yeah. All right. So get some
which
more
is
questions in if you want them. Again, if you got CitizenCon questions, British questions, whatever you want. I'm surprised no one's asked where the hell Algared is. He's in Indonesia with his let's call it significant other, and he's having a whale of time. And I did talk to him at about what time was it? 9:30 p.m. for him, and he had to get up at 1 a.m. to do this. So obviously he's just had a lot of fun and not turned up. At that.
this is why you've got to put up with me.
Woolworths went bust. Yeah, see, that's right. They were price gouging the shit out of people in Australia, and so they didn't spend enough money. Yeah, well, I'm sick of him in Australia. I'm absolutely sick of him. But I can tell you right now, I think a lot of Australians could come to England and they'd feel right at home. Especially Tasmanians, though. I don't know how else to put that because mainland Australia is very dry in a lot of places. But again, if you look at Australia on a map, you can see Tasmania is like super green, and Ireland and UK are the same. They're very green. All right. Next one, please, John. Sorry for interrupting.
This one's from Moondog Monty.
Right.
What's the Hornet shadow on the floor plans? Real Hornet model or just a sensor placement?
Right, so I actually talked to people at JR Fabrication. If you guys know who they are, they basically have made all the things like the dragonflies, stuff like that. They didn't work on it. They have not worked on a Hornet. And I also had to talk to Astropub and basically essentially theorizing that it's something to do with Squadron 42. It's not an actual physical ship. And if you actually think back to last year, when they had the play area, what are you laughing at? Hang on, John. That they had what was the ship? The Fury. They had a cutout almost of the Fury above, and then they changed it just before the thing went live. So I'd expect that to change just before Citizen. What are you going to be laughing at, John?
Oh, the next question.
Right, you'll give it to me.
You'll like it.
Oh, I'm sure I will, knowing that you're laughing. It's going to be amazing. All right, here we go. Come on.
Jag Hiroshi wants to know, have you had beans on toast yet?
What the hell? Where the hell do you think I'm from? I have beans on toast all the time. What did we buy, John? We bought 4 different cans because I found that those different flavors of Heinz, didn't I? What did we buy?
Barbecue, chili.
Ticker. There was a ticker one.
Yeah. And there was a fourth one as well, which we're going to have on toast one of the mornings.
Oh, if I can get John to
When
get
I
off
get
his
up early enough.
if John could get off his fat ass, you could probably go find what the other flavor is, but he's too busy. But yeah, we'll have a look in a minute. But yeah, we got 4 flavors to try out because they aren't that at home. Heinz has different flavors. They're all kind of vanilla. So like, there's an English one, an Aussie one, And they don't have the different size cans that we have back home. We have 3 different sizes of cans, like a tiny, a normal, and one called a one for all, which is designed for like 2 or 3 people. And here they're just a very small one that's almost like a large tuna can and a normal one. But they've got rid of all the ones we have. So, yeah. Next question, John. Unless you can.
The next one is what's the laptop, and that's from Limited Respawn.
Stimpack Steve gave me, it's an MSI laptop with a 3050 in it. But yeah, I'm surprised it's doing some pretty powerful stuff that I didn't know if it was going to be able to pull off, especially some of the stuff we've got. So just put it this way, one of the video files we've got for CitizenCon is 3.42 gigabytes, so almost 3.4 gigabytes, and it plays it no problem. And that's one of the files in the thing. So we AstroPub and I and Daj has been helping us getting some effects together for CitizenCon. So I actually have to turn a lot of things off to make it look like the old one. But I've got a whole bunch of new scenes and transitions and movement. I showed you that, like, again, at the moment, you know, it kind of moves like this. I've basically worked out some new effects, and after CitizenCon is over, this old board is going away. So maybe I can give him. Wait, I'll give him a. We'll go into this mode that we're not meant to go into. I'm going to turn something. I'm going to go naked. Don't get freaked out.
No, I don't want to see you naked again.
Yeah, exactly. This one. No, wrong one. Shit.
While you're doing that, I'm just going to answer Herbie, who's put in chat. Beans on toast, what did I miss? Oh, the one question was, have you had beans on toast yet?
Yeah.
Which I was laughing at because I could see the questions before he did. And we bought 4 different types of beans.
Didn't we just answer that one? You asking the same
No,
question? Are you turning Algared and?
Herbie missed that, and I was just telling him what we
Right.
were talking about. Which is
Right,
what I
okay.
said if you would listen.
Okay. I don't know. It's not bringing up. It's not bringing up the new effect for some reason. It's bringing up. Not bringing up thing. I don't know. I'll have to play with it later. But it's not coming up for now. I'll just turn it off.
You're welcome, Herbie.
That one on. Back to the old. Anyway, but yeah, expect new stuff coming. It's just very hard to do anything right now because I'm on a laptop with a little mouse that I'm not used to. But I'm surprised at what it can do. Apparently, you can play Star Citizen too. But yeah, I had to install Photoshop on it, OBS, and I had to put Discord on it. So I hope I haven't made a lot of work for you, Stimpack Steve. When I send it back to you, I'll try and remove what I can. Sorry, John?
Just to let you know, Stimpack Steve was coming out of his ears earlier when he was trying to mess about with his mic.
Yeah, but that was not his fault. That's my stuff, not his fault. And that was Discord. That's got nothing to do with the laptop. But yeah, I kind of got it working now, so we'll see how it goes. Oh, these did survive the trip too. I should show them this too. So the mics did make it, so we'll be using these on the day. One for Algared. Oop. And also the headphones made it, as you can see. But yeah.
He's going to look professional, even if he isn't.
Who needs enemies when I got friends like you, John? Jeez Louise. Right, next question, please, John.
Right, this one's from Dan Hoffman. What do you think the return to a classic is referring to?
Where's that taken from? What's the context on that? Is that something on the page that we missed? I'm gonna go back.
Yes. In the one that they said they're going to return to a classic. If you remember that bit.
Which one was it?
Is
this off the schedule?
Yeah, off the schedule, I think it was, wasn't it, guys? If anybody can say yes in Twitch chat, if I'm right.
I'm trying to skim read through it, but yeah, if someone gets it, see in chat, let me know, John.
Nobody's said anything there. And Herbie, no, I'm West Midlands, mate, not up the north.
that was the crazy thing too. In Tassie, there's a place called the Midlands.
Yes,
Yeah.
somebody in YouTube said, yeah, it was in that thing we looked at earlier.
Which one? Can you give me the title of the segment that it's on? I'll
No, I can't. Anybody in chat give him the title of the segment? First panel on Sunday, I think.
first panel on Sunday. Let me have a quick look. Explore the fundamentals of crafting, base building, including how they
No, Dress
combine.
to Kill. No, no, it's not Dress to Kill. Sorry.
Explore the fundamentals of crafting, base building, including how they combine and enable new opportunities for players to ultimately create future stars. Well, that's not the first one Sunday. Oh, here we go. Captain of Industry. Undercover ships of ground vehicles that will serve as your primary tools for base building, the verse, and revisit a classic and more. Do you reckon that's the thing that we got this morning from Pete?
No.
Do you reckon we should show? We're allowed to show that.
Well, you are allowed to show things like that now.
Where we can talk about it, but we can't show anything from Evo. It's still Evo, isn't it? And I don't know where it was taken from, but it might be Evo, so I don't want to.
But I think that revisit a classic and more, that could be a ship which they've already designed or whatever,
Yep.
or an older style ship.
But a
They're
classic could be anything.
revisiting a
It could be
classic.
a classic could be an arena commander mode. It could be a ship. It could be a gameplay. Again, remember what I was saying? Like an Algared, I could hear Algared in my head going, "Just enough rope to hang yourself."
But yes,
You know, this is we say this all for a reason. And again, this is what I meant by them being really vague. So, what do you take out of that? You know what I mean? Like it's well, captains of industry. That's where I went to. Yeah, that's what everyone in chat's saying. Captains of industry. So again, do you guys think of an industry gameplay? Mining. So let me give you the context. Pissed off Pete sent us an image. Was it one of the refinery shops? Is that what it was, John? Refinery
yes,
shops?
it was then in the refinery shop.
Yeah, and what it showed was, you know how you could buy store all containers like cargo boxes. It showed the mule and the prospectus cargo saddlebags for sale in the shops. Now, why would you need those? At the very least, things like that. But I think at the very least, it allows you to take them off your ship and put them on the cargo lift and then sell them that way, so to speak. So we'll have to wait and see. But I think that's a very simple thing to implement. John, don't you? I don't know. You tell me, John. Considering you can pull the
But
boxes off a ship and sell them, how much different is to pull it off and just sell a different type of box?
that's going to make it so much easier if there's, say that there's a few of you just got prospectors, then
Mm,
you've got another friend with a cargo ship. He comes out and he's got plenty of empty bags in there. You
mm,
all fill up, take them off, put empty ones back on. He
mm.
goes up and sells them, so you just carry on mining, and it makes it so much easier for you doing the operations if you've got different people doing different things.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Because in the future, it won't just be Quantanium, which will be the one everybody's going for.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that. Cool. Um. Next question, unless you want to add to that, John. Anything
And
got
the
to
next
add to that?
question is, D Jocko, have you tested the Redeemer on PTU yet? Regardless, what are your thoughts on it now?
Sorry, that was that again. Have I tested the Redeemer on PTU?
PTU yet? But regardless of whether you've tested
No.
it or not, what are your thoughts on it now?
I think Algra did a bunch of tests on the Redeemer. Not the Redeemer. Did he say Redeemer or Reclaimer? Again, we both get a
Redeemer.
mess up. No, I haven't. No, I haven't had a chance because I've been traveling. Algra did a bunch of tests before he left on the Reclaimer, though. I remember that much. And I have not had time because I've been running around like a headless chick trying to get everything ready for CitizenCon. And poor John and Diane have been here putting up with all my shit, haven't you? Yeah, just give me a big
No
finger.
problem.
Yeah.
I got 4 kids and 9 grandkids. You're not a problem.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I'm just a big kid. I think I'll take that as a.
Well, you'd be the same age as my oldest.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Right.
I don't know anything about the Redeemer, so I can't answer anything there. Sorry, guys.
Have to come. I'll have to work with having trouble. Need to. Good. Right. Next question, please, John.
Okay, this is from Jag Mason, whatever his however he pronounces it. What current or possible future concept ground vehicle could make a good companion ground vehicle for the Zeus MR?
I think that platform. Was it the Grey Cat CSV or Grey Cat Cab? Grey Cat Cab. I think that's the only thing that would fit in the Zeus. I don't know. Again, Algared and I, Algared's only hasn't had the chance to play through it. But John, you did it with me, didn't you? You and I went through the
Yeah,
Zeus.
I don't think that hover thing would fit. It looked too wide.
I don't know. I'd have to look at it again. But the thing that was really noticeable about the Zeus to me is it has definitely been dated. Is how I'd put it. Like, what was it? The STV that we put in there, and I think you might be able to put a cyclone in it, but we know for sure that the Ursa didn't fit. We tested that, didn't we, John? So the Ursa doesn't fit, and I would assume just based on the size, John, that platform's either a small vehicle or a medium, because you've also got the Argo CSV, which would be the large. So you've got to assume the platform's a medium or a.
Yeah, and I think you're gonna. If did the STV fit in there? What
Yeah,
was the other one we tried?
the Ursa,
A
but the Ursa was
cyclone.
too. The Ursa was too big.
But
No,
no,
we didn't have a cyclone, but we looked at the cyclone and it should fit. Again, I can't
eh,
confirm that, but maybe someone in chat has anyone tried to put a cyclone in one of the Zeuses yet? I just didn't have time to go rent one. Ursa Lynx may as well be. Yeah, Ursa Lynx is the same.
yeah, in Socially Confused says a cyclone fits.
Okay,
Now, if you look at
that
the
I theorized.
cyclone, would a rock fit in there? Because that is
No, rock's too
all it.
tall. Rock's too tall. I heard it from
Okay.
someone. Someone told me that the rock doesn't fit. So yeah.
So it's going to be an STV or cyclone-sized vehicle.
Mhm.
Now, some of those cyclones are quite tall with the guns mounted on, with the rockets and stuff mounted on the
But
top,
again,
aren't they?
remember, so what we're talking about, guys, if people are wondering, I'll see if I'm gonna have to Google it, but again, it might take me a hot minute because I'm on this laptop. Hang on. What was it? It was Citizen. Hang on, John. I need to think. CitizenCon.
Sorry.
That's all right. CitizenCon ship. No, it was base building slides. Base building. Say what you're gonna say there, John. Now, sorry for me interrupting.
Yeah, but what possible future concept ground vehicle could make a good companion ground vehicle for the Zeus MR? What the MR is that the fighter one?
That's the bounty hunting one. So why the hell would you want to be doing bounty hunting and base building? Good combo, but again, the Zeus has this kind of crush back door, and if you ever had a chance to look at it yourself, they literally have glass around the two hydraulic lifts that lift up and down the door, which kind of narrows it even more. And if you go on the outside, if that actually had the hydraulics kind of go diagonal with the ship, so to speak, they could have actually made the door larger, not smaller. That's the weird thing.
Yes.
Like you can tell it's a design choice why they've made it smaller. Excuse me, just give me a second. I'm going to flick it over to this one. So I did manage to find the slide, John. If we zoom in, give me a second. I'm going to have to get my bearings here. So I might go to this one, right? So what we're talking about when we talk about the CAV is this platform. Now, I think you have to agree, John, based on that alone, that's basically the same size as the mule. And I mean area, not height.
Yeah, you're looking at the width.
So we would argue that fits in the back of the Zeus, yes?
I don't know.
A mule, dude, it's a mule smaller than an STV. An STV and a Cyclone fit in the back of the Zeus, so that fits in the back.
That's not a mule behind it, is there? Because I can't see
Yeah,
your face is in the way.
oh, okay. I just realized, yeah, because I can't see that. Hang on, I'll move across. I'll move across. Can you see it now? Yes,
No,
you should easily be able to see now.
no, your face is. Yeah, that's better. It was just a delay.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm just moving it back a little bit. Maybe I've moved it. No,
yeah,
that
because
should be
the
perfect.
mule's the same width as the
Yeah,
cyclone, isn't it?
yeah, roughly. So
Roughly.
I'm assuming that that can fit in the back of the Zeus, and based on the fact that there's only two base building vehicles, this one and that big mammoth one over there. Now we don't know if they've changed things or stuff like that, or it's got smaller or bigger or whatever. But roughly, based that this is the small and that is the large, and the fact that that's kind of connected to a Spartan or Centurion, you'd have to assume that that is too big for a Zeus based on the fact that an Ursa don't fit, and there's an Ursa is technically a medium, so you can only put small vehicles on a Zeus. So therefore, this is your only option based on what process of elimination.
Yeah.
So you just got no choice. Sorry, fortunately.
But for something like the MR, if you've got an STV but with weapons mounted, that could be a good companion to the Zeus MR because sometimes you can't fly into the bases you go in unless you blow up the gun turrets. If you don't want to blow up the gun turrets, you've got a ground vehicle. You can go in, destroy the turrets without being shot at, then go back and get your ship.
Well, the other thing is that based on the size, when you, me, and Pete were talking, this probably does build turrets as well. It'd be very convenient to take that around the base and deploy the turrets while someone else is building the area, but we'll have to wait. But yeah, that's a weird. It's not a ship that I would have picked for base building because, well, this essentially shows you all the things that you need to do the base building in each shot, right? So here you need the mule to be able to carry the cargo out because this thing cannot carry the cargo itself, and that's the cargo you need to build stuff. Where if you go over to the next one, here's the Argo. Oh, I went too far. The Argo CSV, and it needs a couple of boxes, but it can take it itself on top. Then when you go over to, I got to go down. When you go to the Galaxy, it doesn't need anything because it's all self-contained, and it's the same thing with the Pioneer because it's all self-contained. So yeah, it's essentially telling you the Cav does not transport its own shit.
Yeah, he's just put in. My question was in terms of combat, not base building.
But why would you want to put a base building with a combat ship as a
No,
good
no,
combo? That's what
he
I'm trying to
wasn't
understand.
talking about base building. He was on about the Zeus MR, which is the fighter,
Hmm.
and he's on about combat and what sort of ground vehicle would go with it for combat.
You said base building grain vehicle, did you not?
No,
Oh my god. Okay, right. Well, in that case, it's any small vehicle, so it'd be one of the Cyclones. Sorry, I swear you said what base building vehicle would work with
no.
the
The
Zeus.
question was what current or possible future concept ground vehicle could make a
Huh.
good companion ground vehicle for the
This
Zeus MR.
stream must think I'm drunk after all that. Thanks, John. Son of a bitch. They must think I'm drunk. That's shockingly bad.
Funny.
Oh, they're like, what the hell is he going on about? Yeah, it's fine. Right. Yeah, just pick a combat vehicle that fits in it. It'd be one of the Cyclones. Damn British people playing tricks on me. All right, I'll put it back to you then, smarty pants. What combat vehicle would you put with a Zeus? It'd have to be one of the Cyclones, surely, yeah? The one with again, you probably can't fit the one with all the missiles on it. You know, the one that's like the is it the MTV? The one that's it's got the missiles off the AA and it's got the turret off the TR. Is it called the MT? I believe it's been a hot minute since I looked them up.
It's one of those, and I
Yeah,
get them all them mixed up.
yeah. Well, try holding them all in your head. It's a bit hard. Cyclone MT. Yeah, Cyclone MT. That's the one. But only if it can fit, obviously. But again, that is one of the taller ones, so it may or
Ruby
may not
thinks
fit.
it's the 80.
It's not the AT. I just googled it. It's the MT.
Okay. Well,
Um,
the 80 is the got the machine guns on it, isn't it?
No, that's the TR because it stands for turret, and the AA is the one that's just all missiles. So they're basically pick one or the one in the middle, and the one in the middle one's more versatile. So you take that one. All right, next question, please, Sir Lafayette.
Oh, then where am I? Okay, this is A Sigma.
Hmm?
Uh, do you see the Endeavour after release still being a ship that can be managed by a small group of people?
Well, so that's the other thing. I think we are going to hear about AI stuff based on what Algared found in that episode we did. We also know about the kind of group finder and AI and stuff like that. I don't think you really ever are going to want to kind of play this game alone. And if you are restricting yourself to those smaller ships.
Yes.
The single seat stuff. That is just how it's tailored. And you might be able to get away with, say, you and one AI on quite a medium ship. Well, John, let's put it the one that John knows well with his research, the Erastra. Now, 5 people, John. What would you
Oh, that's maximum. I reckon you could work the Arastra with 3 people happily.
see where I'm going with this though? So take that back down to a small John to say something. Technically, it would be an S3. So you like a Vulcan. Sorry, a Vulcan. Um, a Vulture can be operated with one person, but the Vulcan's technically two. Yeah, it's the same size. So you see where I'm going with this, right? The point I'm trying to say is it's what you're prepared to compromise on and how much money you're prepared to pay the AI and things like that. But when it comes back to say something like the Endeavour, it is a capital class ship. But if you want the smaller ship, you've got to remember you can earn down, can't earn up as effectively. So you can struggle through one mission on that Endeavour, knock it out, and let's say, for example, what's one that we can the Apollo. So you could say you're into the Hope, but it's too much for you at the time. But again, 350 for the Endeavour, but you can earn down to the Apollo at 275, and I'm talking in dollars here. But again, you're getting all the ships underneath it very quickly, where you can't go the other way. The old if this not that thing. You know the one I'm talking about, John, with the carrack that earn the
Yes.
yeah, but you can't take
But
the
but the
M50 at the bottom and earn up to the carrack quickly.
but that where that works, it all depends on the player whether he enjoys grinding, doing certain things just to make money,
That's
and he's
absolutely
not
true.
worried about it.
If you don't want to spend a lot of money, you can just go out with the starting ship Aurora and grind your ass off. But if you also um what's the other one, John? You buy a Vulcan, a Vulture, and a Terrapin, or do you just go
Yeah,
buy the Reclaimer and then earn sideways into the other, capital size ships and then earn down to the smaller ones, as an example? So, pick your favorite of those three professions. Because again, if you had the Reclaimer, how quickly are you going to get back down to a Vulture? How quickly are you going to get down
easily.
to a Vulcan? And how quickly are you going to get down to, say, a Prospect or whatever those are? One or two missions and you'll be back to a full sized small ship. So again,
The,
earn down economy. You can't beat that analogy.
the way I look at it myself, if you've got 4 or 5 people you can rely on regular, I think you can actually have a lot of ships in the game and use them
Yeah.
quite well.
What about the once they kind of have the group finder thing? And so look at games like WoW where they have the raid finder years later. You used to only be able to raid on your server in WoW. Now you can raid across all the servers in the entire game, and you can almost raid any day of the week type of thing. Even though they still have that restriction of only you can only do it once a week, which really slows down the game. Considering you're paying money, I think it's disgusting. But you get my point, right? On weekends, those group finder things are going to go out, and weekends are going to be where the combat is, just like WoW and almost every other MMO. So
But
during the week, again, well, let me try and explain, John. So during the week, you probably are going to want to do the medium and small ships where you're out on your own. But on the weekend, if you want to get there with your mates, you could then get into the Orion and do the same mining. You know what I mean?
yes,
So
but also what comes into this, have you played the PTU, or you haven't played the PTU or anything yet, have you?
I've done the Evo and the PTU, but I haven't played it in like 2 days because I've been
Did you
traveling.
did you notice how much fuel cost?
Yes, it's a lot more expensive, and I've had a few people tell me that.
Yeah, so that is going to affect how some people play in the future.
Okay, I totally agree, but you don't think that's. Let me just say, John, when you remember we were talking about the refinery boxes, are you starting to see what
Yes,
I'm trying to say now? There are other pieces of
yes.
information that I was trying to remember, and I was like, I know, and that's what it was, the fuel thing. So what I was saying to John when I saw that image of them in the shop, I was like, how far could this go? Why would they put this in the game? And I was like, is it just the
Ah,
saddlebags, you take them off and you sell them, or is it, are they actually now working? And are we going to see the expanse
ah,
released into the game? Because the other thing is, we know in the files that there are a couple of miss-ships that were worked on. Now, if
yeah.
you're
Well,
working on a couple of miss-ships, you see where I'm going here, right? A couple of ones came out that we already knew about, maybe.
also,
We'll
Rum
see.
Bandit has said fuel costs right now is a bug in the PTU.
Okay.
So,
Oh,
okay, well, I
we'll,
hadn't heard that. I
we'll take
thought
it.
that's just how it was going.
We'll take everything with a grain of salt that I just said then. But it's just interesting because, yeah, I'm just really. How did I put that to you the other day? So I've got really low expectations going to CitizenCon, but I'm quietly hoping that they just knock it for six. We'll see what happens.
Yes,
Like, because let's be honest, look at all the ISCs we've had, John. Right, over what the whole year. The whole year. It was CitizenCon from last year, and then the only really kind of refreshing stuff we saw were in the last 3 or 4 episodes where they talked about the Zeus, they talked about the refactor, and these were things from CitizenCon last year that you would have normally seen in an ISC episode across the entire year, and they left them right to the end. So if that's what they're like, and they're the type of things we would have seen at Citizen. So if they're releasing those right now, or just did, what are they holding back? Must have heaps of shit for us to talk about or show us.
yeah. This is what you said. I think it was yesterday. Well, you said it the last few weeks while we've been talking. That
Mm.
what they're showing and what they're not showing. This I'm going up there because it's my first convention of any sort, to be honest with you, and I'm just going to enjoy it for meeting people I spoke to online and things like that. But I'm also
Do you honestly
hoping,
think I came all this way just to meet you?
yes,
No, no. I came. I came here to meet all the people.
yes.
To be honest,
Well,
because quite
that's
honestly,
what I'm looking forward to.
as Citizen kind of goes, you can really do it from home for the
Yeah.
information, right?
But your words exactly were,
Yeah.
if what they're showing us this stuff now, what are they holding back?
Well, tell me how often they hold back. How much is it an absolute dry spell? And they're just like releasing stuff in that period that's meant to be the quiet before the storm. Like all of September had shit in it. That is unheard of. You can go and talk to any content creator, anyone that's been around for a while, they'll tell you unheard of to see shit pop out like that. Usually holding it all back because they've got nothing to show at CitizenCon. So if they're letting it out, what do they have? More than usual. Wait, someone was a member, John, on Feathers. Welcome to the basic membership. Thank you, Feathers. Appreciate it. Sorry that we're slow on the uptake today because we're roughing it at John's house. I can now not get rid of that message off my screen. Shit, I've lost all the chat. Uh-oh. Hopefully
Okay,
not.
are you ready for the next question, or have you got more to add to the last one?
No, I think the other thing is um meeting people was part of it. I think the other part, what me and Alga really wanted to do was kind of remove the porthole experience, is what I'd call it. So when they present CitizenCon, you kind of only see what they show you. We wanted to show you before, after, and then a little bit between the panels and stuff like that. So, having Paul at home and him like with you guys and you guys chucking questions at him, and then me and Algred on the floor. I think between the three of us, I'm hoping to do something that no other content creator can kind of pull off because they're either going to be on the floor and they're going to be juggling plates. But having Paul with you guys and us on the floor, we get that teamwork thing going that you've seen for Inforunners before. It'll hopefully, I don't know, how would you put that, John?
Well, basically, you two and Paul will be concentrated on everything that's happening, and you also want to show people turning up as
Mm,
well to see what and ask them questions, maybe what they're looking forward to.
yeah,
And I'll be there if you need anything, I can go and get it and whatever. So
yeah. So yeah,
no, no, my look, I'll miss most of the show because you'll have me running here, there, and everywhere.
I'll try not to. Yeah, but yeah, we essentially wanted to take you guys with us. We didn't want to just, you know, so we put some money into it as well, and that you guys have helped out with via Patreon, and um, I've had a lot of people help me in the I call it shadows, but they've done it anonymously and stuff like that too. People that didn't want any praise or thanks or stuff like that. It was even the things with people with the t-shirts too. There were a lot of people that didn't want they wanted to make donations, but they didn't want their name on it or things like that and stuff like that. So um, you know, you've heard me and Algared say it before. What we do everything for the community, and we like helping people. And yeah, that's why we do what we do. We didn't want to just go watch CitizenCon. We wanted to. How many of us get to
Yeah,
actually? How do you put that in words? Like, not everyone can go to CitizenCon, right? And me and Algared have the rare opportunity that we can kind of crowdsource the funding. So those
you
are
can share the whole experience.
well. Again, I've come from the other side of the world, literally, to be here,
And he thinks
and
he's come home.
part of it. But yeah, but yeah, I live just about as far from a CIG studio as you could possibly be. So yeah, yeah,
Okay, next question then, if everybody's ready.
yeah, go for it.
This one is from Arcane Edge.
Yeah,
With the ladder working on the Zeus so well, will we possibly see other ships get similar ladders?
yeah. I did think about this. I almost think that they kind of learned that from feedback of the MSO, and it's ironically you kind of put that back onto the other ones because the Cutlass used to have one that they removed. The Spirit doesn't have one, and the Freelancer does. So do you reckon that I'll put this to you, John, real quickly. Do you think that's a gameplay choice? Do you think that they kind of went, oh yeah, the Freelancer needs one, the Zeus does, but we'll screw the other ones. So the Spirit and that don't get one. Spirit and Cutlass don't get one. Or do you think it was just it is what it is?
No, I think they've done that on there to see how well it works, how people react to it, and if they
Mm,
react well to it, they'll be doing that with the other ships as well.
mm.
That's my opinion only. That's what I'd
So
hope
so
to see on other
so
ships.
so you're thinking more ladders on gold passes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I do. We do know from things that they need to go back and add it to things like the MSR. Like that's why I brought that one up. I think. Do you remember the old Cutlass, John, or was that before your time following
No,
it
that
on?
was before my time. And ever since I've been here, the Cutlass has only had the ramp.
Okay, so it used to have this ladder that went up onto the wing, and then there was a door on the wing, and you went through and it literally was like just behind the cockpit. And the ship was a lot smaller back then too. I think the kind of compromise with that is when they put the docking ring on the side. And it used to have a docking collar on the bottom, and it kind of got moved off to the side. But I guess you could essentially just have a step or a ladder that went into the docking collar, and that would solve that problem.
Yeah, that would make it so simple, wouldn't it? A ladder coming
Yeah,
down from there to get up.
yeah, and well, again, you could even go further because it's got two docking collars. You can just have a ladder on either side.
Yes. Well, that's what they would do if.
And does it need to be a full ladder, or could it be something like the pole ladder on the Mustang? You know, the one on the Mustang that kind of like
Yeah.
it folds right up, so you could just have it kind of poke out, and then you just like half ladder. Yeah, I don't know. As for the what's the other one, the Spirit, that's a lot more difficult to do because you kind of have to get it's like on the Zeus how you come out the docking port there, and you can kind of climb up on the roof. The How do you do that? Like I'm thinking of the Spirit. The only thing I can think of is some kind of crawl hatch that's like an emergency exit ladder hatch.
Yes. Yes, you
Um,
could have that quite easily.
unless you made it like a ladder that went onto the roof. So you can only really access it in space. That would give it a different design perspective. Um, yeah, that's a tough one. The Spirit's the hardest of the lot because of the way it's been built. We'll see what happens with the ladders, John. But I don't think they're all going to get it. I think sadly it's the design of the outside, so to speak, silhouette and the feature set. I think it's got some design choices in there to limit things, much like the limiting of the door on the back of the Zeus, John.
Yeah.
I like where you're thinking, but I think sadly they've pigeonholed themselves. You know what I mean? By by doing that, by design choices. Anyway, all right. Next question, John, please.
Okay, well that one we've already done. Chris asked in cap. It says revisit the classic. What do you think that means? But we've
Yeah,
done that, haven't we?
we did.
Okay, so I'll put that there. And Impact Steve, what surprises would you love to see at CitizenCon?
That's a tough one because I'm trying not to hype myself. Um, I think we're going to get new ships. That's probably one of the things I'm always excited about because I think you guys like watching me Algared because we obviously get excited for ships. Um, I think a lot of it is, and this is going to be in a real weird way when I say this, but the knocking the Squadron 42 out the door. Can I say that in that way, John? And you know what I mean?
Yes.
So, kind of like we get this thing out so we can actually get on to Star Citizen, but also you've got to look at Squadron 42 for what it is. Is it is a thing that funds Star Citizen. And I said this to you, John, I think a couple of weeks back, and you correct me if I
Yeah,
didn't.
you
Um, but
did.
but how? Why would you care that someone is playing Squadron 42 on a console? Because in a weird way, aren't you using them to fund Star Citizen that they're not going to be able to play? So isn't that a win for us? Here, you can have Squadron, but you can't have Star Citizen. So here you go. You pay for that, and that uses us to pay for us to play Star Citizen. So I think that's a good thing. It also is going to, when they finally put out a product, I said this to you as well, didn't I, John? Where if they finally put out a product, you're going to shut some of the haters up. You would at least hope you would, yeah? John, your thoughts on that one?
Well, I was just reading some more of the question. But yes, I think it's brilliant that they're using consoles to
Mm.
fund a game for people on PCs.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with it. Give me a 1 in chat if you think it's a good thing that Squadron is being used to fund Star Citizen, and give me a 2 where you'd rather that they did not give Squadron to console players. So just give me a 1 or 2. You check Twitch for me, and I'll check YouTube. But I just want a real quick poll. I don't want to do an actual poll because one, I can't
Well,
be bothered typing on this laptop at the moment.
everybody on Twitch is putting a one so far.
Yeah. Okay. So cool. We got common sense, level-headed people. All right, that makes a lot
Yeah.
of sense. Right. So
What are they
is
doing watching us if they're common sense level-headed people?
oh, thanks, John. Thanks. Just insulted our audience. Thanks, John. Good job. So we can't have nice things, these damn Brits, right? But I think it makes sense, and I think that I'm not. I think that means that someone did it too. Hunter May. All right, Hunter May. Give us your thoughts there, man. Again, I'm always interested why someone has a different opinion, and I'd just like to hear your reasoning. So feel free to.
No, Hunter May did 3 as well.
Oh, okay. He's trolling, right? Okay. 3. Yeah, okay, you son of a bitch. He must be a British. Yeah. 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 Right. But maybe that I'm not the only one that thinks that. Then I'm quite happy to let console gamers have Squadron if that helps us fund Star Citizen. I've got no problem with that. And again, I'm playing Squadron on my PC or my device. Why does it not hurt you to play it on your device, but your device just happens to be a different device? And they're two
Yes.
separate experiences. They do not connect or meet in any single way. So I've got no problem with it. All right, I think Randy Durnall's trying to double down on what Hunter did. He's trying to troll me. No, S42 does not exist, but Squadron 42 does. Mr. Q there, bro. Right. Next question, John, when you're ready.
Yeah, I think it's the same question over 42. The previous one was smaller than subcap. Current question was larger or equal to subcap. I think you covered both, though, didn't you?
So what are we saying? So he wants to know Connie and up, not just subcap
Is
and
it
up.
the same question? The
So
previous
so
one was
so so
smaller than subcap.
and then the other one was larger than subcap. Okay, so he's
Correct.
talking. He wants to know. So before he was asking what was the favorite ship S4 and up. Now he's asking what's the favorite ship S3 and down. That's to reword what he just said. I think you guys would probably pick up on this as well. We are starting to get a lot more ships in the medium, and we haven't got enough in the large yet. We're about to get another one, but to give you what I'm trying to talk about is we don't have, now that they've officially made the Reclaimer a capital salvage vessel, we now have room for a large salvage vessel. Example, we have the Arastra as a mining vessel, we have the Apollo, but we don't have every single utility in there yet, as in industry. So there's room in there for a few more in the large side specifically. But there's just, yeah, I'm just interested to see how that kind of fills out. John, what's your thoughts on that? You think there's a lot more room in the large area, or do you think I'm kind of overreacting? And
No, I think there's a lot more room in medium to large and capital, to be honest with you, with what they're showing with the smaller ship.
I won't give you capital. There's no way I'll give you capital, because you've got the Orion, the Crucible, the Endeavor. Like they were some of the first ones to ever go in with the capitals. But for example,
Yes.
like repair, you've got the Vulcan that's a small or medium, and then you've got the Crucible, but there's no large. So and then you've got the Reclaimer, you've got the Vulture, and now we've got a third one rumored to be coming that looks like to be smaller but not larger. But you get my point, right? There's still room on that grid where they essentially said they want one of every size in every industry, essentially. So if you kind of fill out that grid, the ones that are missing are either small or medium or large. And when I say medium or large, I'm meaning S3 and S4 specifically. Maybe maybe yeah, S3.
Yeah, but what I mean about room for capital ships, we're not sure what we're going to find when we start exploring the different verses they give us
Yeah,
when they're
okay.
in game.
They also, you can kind of see they're kind of leading to all the major ship manufacturers having at least one, I don't know what else to call it, like a super capital, so an S6, right? So you've
Yeah.
essentially got Aegis with the Idris. You've also got the Javelin that's by Aegis as well. You've got the Kraken, you got the Rhine, you got the Endeavor, you got the Pioneer. But then, for example, where's the Crusader one? Where's the Argo one?
Yeah.
Right? And there's two parts to this. It's like, is that a ship that is going to add gameplay now, or do we knock it down the road when we've got even more ship team? Because again, think about how they're building these teams out. Where's it? Just close your eyes and essentially theorize, how big is that ship team going to be in 5 years? How much easier is it going to be for them to pop out a ship? And then on top of that, how much better quality is it going to be? And anyone that's been here for any length of time, you'd all be saying the same. Well, me and Algared, we were happy when the Panamerician Man was delayed. Like, how many people would say that? But like that, we were like, oh, because that means we're going to get a better ship. This is not going to be. It's not going to be jank. It's not going to have to go back and get reworked, beforehand. So it's the same thing. Like the more ships that we know that are coming, and the further down they are, the better they're going to be. It's just nature of time. Even if you take a single person, turn the phone off, John. You've essentially got, you give that person 10 years, they're going to be so much more experienced. And I know most of the audience is owners, so they know what I'm talking about. As you're improving experience, you become better at doing what you're doing. So yeah, John, do you want to add to that?
Um, about our favourite smaller ships. Well,
No, I was deliberately asking the question because I knew you weren't listening.
cheers, pal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
well,
welcome.
Diane just texted me,
Yeah. She
and
on hot date, is she? Right. Okay, good to know.
yeah, she's okay.
All right, cool. She got home safe. That's what you're. Oh, well, that took her a
Oh
while
yeah,
to walk home. Wow.
no, she's been home for ages. She's just asked me to ring her when the stream's finished.
Oh, okay, no problem. Okay, well, what are we at now? We are at. We're about halfway through, almost. So yeah,
Oh, I doubt it.
or we're out of questions. We're at about an hour and a half. Usually go for about 3, so we should be fine.
Agent. Oh, next question. Agent 1213. What
Mhm.
ships will be at CitizenCon?
We did a video on this, didn't we? I swear we did a video on this. And we
Yes, you
talked
did.
about it on the channel. And I called it something like "New Ships for CitizenCon" or something like that. It's on the channel. It's got the first-person ship HUD type of thumbnail. It should be one of the last videos we released. So if you want to look at
I
that,
hope that will answer
um,
that question for you, Agent.
yeah. But the only other thing I'd go through is I'm not sure all those ships coming at CitizenCon. They may be some that come at. I say this right. It'll be
IAE.
IAE. Otherwise, I get yelled at when I say AIE. IAE. Right.
Okay, next question is
hmm
when will you guys be heading up to Manchester?
Algared gets there on the 15th. I get there on the Wednesday on the 16th. So he'll be there in 4 days' time. I'll be there in 5.
I'll
But we
be
could,
there on the 16th, dropping him off. I'll be
yeah.
there on the 18th, coming up myself.
Well, if I had somewhere to stay that didn't cost a bajillion dollars, I guess I could just go up and on the Tuesday as well. If anyone's got somewhere I can stay, reach out on Discord and I'll come up and stay with you for the night. We'll go to the bar. You want to come up too, John? We'll go to the bar system on the Tuesday.
Well, I'd have to see about my dog sitter to see how long she can have the dog for.
Just bring Belle along. He's got this awesome dog. Where's Belle? Belle, Belle, where are you? He's got an
Hang on,
awesome little
I'll bring
dog.
her over.
I'll bring her over and we'll show stream. She's a cute little thing. Um, licks me to death. Put it that way. She's probably going to do it.
Just woke her up, guys. So
Yeah, typical.
be careful.
Thank you, Belle.
There you
Oh,
go.
yeah, right. Say hello to stream. Wave to everyone. You don't look too impressed, Belle.
But we've just woke her up.
Yeah, we did. We just woke her up. Oh no, here she goes.
She likes kisses, by
Yeah,
the way.
she does. Okay, you're a good girl. All right, I'll hand you back to Dan.
Hello,
Here's John.
people.
That's John. All right.
I got
Thank you,
dog.
John.
I got
Appreciate
you.
it.
Come here then.
Great little dog. Keeps snuggling up against me for warmth all the time. I don't think she's cold all the time.
She's like having your own hot water bottle.
Yeah. You come through both mics, John. It's all good.
Okay.
All right.
Oh God, that was a long journey.
What, like 5 meters? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we've answered that one. The next one is from Bemoyne McDonough Catchy. Was the journey across from Oz arduous? This one's for you, mate.
It was
Long.
29 hours. It's been a long time. Oh, what happened there? Auto. I'm trying to. I hit a button on the screen and it's.
What you done?
I'm trying to. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to go into the mic and turn it down a bit more because I'm very aware that you are. Turn the gain down. There you go. And hopefully you don't. I'm not getting picked up as much either, but that also means you won't be being picked up.
Hello, are you picking me up?
Try again.
Hello, are you picking me up?
No, not good. But the other thing is the camera decided to turn.
Well, basically, we mentioned this earlier. The camera thinks the ball behind him is much better looking than his face.
Yeah, it's damn annoying. I had auto tracking on and everything, like Algared did if you were here the other stream. It's all following and everything, but this thing won't do it because goddamn yoga ball or tractor.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Thanks, John. Right. Next question, John.
Which one was that one? Yes. This is from Nova42. Thoughts on fitting 332 SCU crates in the Zeus Mark II? I don't know.
It's not something we tried. But you got to assume since the Max is like the same cargo size as the Zeus. I don't know. I can't call. I don't want to say yes you can or no you can't because I honestly didn't test it. I didn't have time. if you were someone that knows me personally, like John or Algared or any of the mods or stuff like that, or any of the people that I've talked to over the last couple of weeks, you know how run off my feet I've been just getting packed and ready to essentially move out the door. And then getting here, thought I'd have a break. The only break I had was for 29 hours on a plane, where I was thinking about everything I had to do when I got here. Um, but I basically caught up on sleep, and then I've spent what half today doing this, John? Would you?
Yes, you were over there and pulling your bloody hair out at one stage because you didn't think you'd
Well,
be ready.
yeah, but we got there.
Because you didn't want, not because you were angry at what you were doing, you just didn't want to let anybody down.
Yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Uh,
It's an absolute too. Yeah, for sure. Right, yeah.
And
So
I'm not sure about fitting 332s in there.
I think you could safely say 16 though, couldn't you? What is it? There's a 32, a 24, and a 16. Um, yeah, I haven't done the measurements, but I can tell you based on the cyclone that we put in there that it was probably you could probably just fit two, feel like a cyclone and a half. Yeah, I'm not going to call that, man. I'm just going to say I don't know at the moment because I don't feel comfortable because it would
Well,
be a guesstimation.
Captain Fish Sticks has said
Mm,
we'll fit two 32 SU crates and then faces above and to the sides. Really awkward fit though. But the problem is with the way they're bringing the game in now, if
mm,
something goes wrong with one of your components, that means you've got to open the back, get everything out if
yeah,
you're using 32s
yeah,
to get at the
exactly.
component.
I am quickly preferring the Max. This is the whole thing where you and I was it you and me that when we talked? I don't think you and I where did we talk about it? And who were we talking about with recently? It was just
You,
before I left
me,
home.
there was three of us. We weren't online. We were just
Yeah.
doing it between us. And yes, I think we all agreed eventually.
Who was the other
The
guy?
Zeus looks great. Was it? It wasn't Pete. It wasn't the chat with Pete, was it?
It was some.
Or was it?
It was
Was
that
it
random guy.
Richie?
No, it was that random guy from chat, Richie,
Richie.
and it was
Richie.
and the guy Draku, whatever his name is, Dragul.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was two random guys, and we were all looking at it. Um, and basically it was just like it's just I think it's because it's kind of pokey. That's the word I keep using, or
Yes.
cramped, and it feels that way because unlike say you take the Spirit, which is a giant tube. Freelance is kind of a giant tube. The Cutlass is kind of like a fat tube. But this thing is a tube, but then it's got all these little kind of doors off to the side. And because of those little doors, you get into those rooms and they're just a little bit too cramped. Um, and I just don't like that feeling. I'd rather the kind of, how would you put it? The loft approach, where it's just one big open tube.
Yes. Like the C2. You've got plenty of room in that.
Yeah,
You can put whatever you like in there, and
yeah.
you know it's not going to
That's
move.
a real. Are you going to say the Caterpillar? Because that would be the analogy I would use as well.
Yes. Or the caterpillar.
Yeah, so kind of like the Caterpillar's got the individual modular rooms, but it's just inconvenient because you got to work around the walls and all that. Where in the Hercules, it's just this giant open space. That's a really
Yes.
good analogy, John. Actually, if that, yeah, I like, yeah. So, and it doesn't affect the cargo as much though, to be honest, because well, again, you got the smaller opening, but it still fits the cargo in it. It's just the actual working area of the ship. So like, not even that, because it's the
That's why
sleeping
they had
quarters.
to put the ladder in.
But it's the sleeping quarters, and what's the other room? The kitchenette area. They're the two pokey
Yeah.
spots. And then you've got this weird kind of corridor that you kind of work through that's got an engineering terminal in it. Even the kind of cockpit's a little pokey as well. I just like when it feels more like a spaceship because it's all compacted and kind of fit in. But again, when it's a spaceship game in the future and the Spirit already exists, the Freelancer already, and the Freelancer is the worst, by the way, of those three older ones because of the same cramped feeling. But like, I don't know, you put the
I
Spirit.
don't think I don't think the Max feels so as pokey as I like the Zeus. Don't get me wrong. I do like it, but as you say, it is very pokey, very
Yeah,
cramped. Everything's there instead of you having the room to move about once you've got your stuff in there.
yeah, yeah. So again, some people may lean into that, some people may not. But when I went and told Algared, I just said, like, I was thinking about, oh, do I get one of these to play with as a daily driver or whatever? And I'm going to be quite honest, I still prefer the Spirit. And if there was a Spirit Max, I'd be on it like flies on shit.
Yeah.
But because for me, out of the two variants that are coming out, it's clearly the CL. The ES is just exploring is just not there. Yes, actually that's a really good point. They're putting CL the ES in game. That must mean that pretty much confirms the scanning stuff. Because they said they're not going to put in more ships into that game. Does that add up to you, John, or not?
Yes, it does. And not a lot to add to that. You've covered it quite well, mate.
Okay. Next question. Do we need more questions, or how many more we got left? Roughly.
Well, we got quite a few there at the moment.
Okay, well, good then. All right, next one.
This is from Socially Confused.
Right, okay.
He's missed out a little bit. I'll add it. What are you most excited to visit in
Scotland, probably.
Yeah, but I live in West Midlands, guys. Listen to this. He wants to go to Inverness, and he said, without traffic, just a straight drive through. It's 8 hours and 10 minutes. He doesn't want a lot, does he?
Yeah, but you said we'd go up for 3 or 4 days. But well, the main reason when I got there, and it's a family history thing, right?
Yes.
So my mother's maiden name is Innes, and they come from an area around Inverness. And if you track it back a little bit further, my mother's third grandmother was a Fraser. Now, does anyone know who a famous Fraser is? This is going to be John knows because I've told him, but it's based on a television show that a lot of women watch. See if anyone can check and get it pretty. TV show based in Scotland.
Nobody on Twitch got it yet.
Let's take a couple minutes. Give him a minute. Anyway, long story short, I'll keep talking about it and see if someone guesses it. Long story short, on this TV show, they filmed things that was apparently filmed where my family grew up, and they actually own some of the land that it was filmed on and the manor in the show. Fraser, he said Fraser Castle. That probably might be it, but I'm not too sure. But the name of the show, since no one's mentioned it, is called Outland. And the main male character in it is called Jamie Fraser. He's not a real person, but the family name is real.
Penny Pen typed it as you said it.
Okay, good. Was that on Twitch?
Yeah.
Okay, good job. But yeah, so yeah, I've got family ties to Frasers. I think the other big one is there is a lot of convicts in my family, and anyone that's Australian, first fleeters are a rare breed, and I'm first fleeter. Yeah, there was 13 people convicts that went aboard on the first boat that actually went ashore in Tasmania, and my descendant was one of the very first 13 convicts to hit the shore. Highlander, you win. It can only be one. So yeah, Scotland. I did think about Stonehenge for a bit, but apparently it's just a pile of rocks. I've been told by a lot of relatives to go to London. Apparently, my aunties and all that say it's like the best city in the world. I don't know. John says it's. No, no, no. You tell me what you think of London. As long as you don't want to get yourself.
It is. If we've got time, I'll take you down there for the day. Not a problem whatsoever. Because it is worthwhile just walking around and seeing some of the stuff down there. Because it's at York. Yes, laid back gig. York is beautiful. So hopefully we'll take him up there as well when we're up that way.
When we're going to go visit Pissed Off Pete in Nottingham, he's giving us the Sheriffs of Nottingham tour, isn't he? Agreed to that. He's going to dress up like Robin Hood, and show us around. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
But London is a place. It's a bit like New York, I should imagine. If anybody goes to America, they want to go and see New York because it's so famous.
Well,
London is the same.
Let's put this back to people in chat then. In the question thing, you can put it forward as a question, but also put in brackets statement, something like that. Somewhere that you recommend I go, because if a few of you are telling me to go somewhere, then I may go have a look. Because again, I'm not from here. And quite honestly, my mum's very jealous because she's visited before, but me actually very jealous that I'm staying with John. John's a local and he knows where to go and things like that, and
But
just makes it a better holiday, so to speak.
as chat will tell you,
Mm.
locals just take things for granted.
Yeah, it's true.
We've grown up with all these things people think are amazing,
Mm.
and we take it for granted because we've grown up with them.
Okay.
So it is quite difficult to say, yeah, Portsmouth's another one, or
Yeah.
Portsmouth, Bournemouth, anything like that. And the Cotswolds is great. It's not far from here.
Well, I'll ask you a question as British people. I was told this as well, but apparently you got to try actual Cornish pasty. Apparently they're very different to what we have in Australia. Is that true? Are they actually decent, or are they just?
Oh, you can't beat a good Cornish pasty for me.
Might have to try. I do want to try spotted dick while I'm here as well. I've heard that's something to
Spotted
try.
dick and custard, mate.
Yeah, I had that. We had apple pie and custard. I tell you, Diane cooks a lot like my grandmother. I'm having a lot of nostalgia berries, put it that way. I haven't had good food like that. Grandmother passed in 29 years. Very food department. The
Is
Lake
that where you're
Districts.
at, Fish Sticks? Are you in Bristol?
I don't know. I don't know. If anyone wants to kind of meet up, I'd be willing to have lunch with people too. People, if you want to get a couple of people together, I got no problem doing
Yeah,
that.
Captain Fish
If we're in
Sticks
the
is
area,
down Bristol.
yeah.
That's not that far, straight down the M5.
What about the socially confused saying the Lake District? Where's that?
Well, that's up north, mate.
Oh,
So,
does he mean like Nessie and stuff like that, like Loch Ness? Is that what do you mean?
no, that's Loch Ness. That's in Scotland.
Yeah, would go there, and John would put on a damn scuba gear and go, "Oh, look, I'm Nessie."
I haven't done scuba diving for many years, mate.
He'll just chuck dog in. Dog can
No, actually, my dog, she'll paddle, but she won't go swimming. There is so many places to see. Don't dive in the UK. Not anymore, anyway. But
What about the White Cliffs of Dover? Are they West Sean or West?
they're actually they are mate. The first time you get a ferry over to France or wherever you're going, and you're going away, but if it's a nice sunny day, which does happen in England, they look amazing when you're going over because you can drive down there, park up, and get a day ticket to go to France and come back.
Yeah.
So
I'd also say the same thing. Like, if you are seriously thinking about visiting Australia, or you've ever been there, or you're ever going to go back, seriously put in the extra effort and go to Tassie, because I would be so like, if there's anyone chat that's from England that's been to Tassie, I'd like to see if you think the same way I think, because it's so similar to there are small little differences, obviously, but you can see that there's definitely a link between the two where they've gone, we miss home, and they've built a lot of stuff there. And even the plants, because a lot of the plants that are here, they took there. Pigeons are not native to Tasmania, but they're in Tasmania, so they obviously took them there as well. Things like that.
let me interrupt you a minute.
Yeah, go
We
ahead.
were down in town today. Right, and Mark, he's a potato man. He's got a caravan and he does baked potatoes with all different fillings and everything. We were stood having a cup of tea with him, and a pigeon landed. And he went, "You got pigeons?"
Well, I thought they were, and I went, hang on, they may not be native to where I'm from. And then I realized, I remember New Yorkers had pigeons, and I was like, oh, they probably not. I just never thought about it. They're just such a common bird, and I was like, oh, okay. So yeah,
And yesterday, you couldn't believe how many times he's turned around. Look, I've travelled halfway around the world just to come home.
yeah. Well, that's what it feels like, anyway.
So the next question we've already done that. Thoughts on the redacted panel for on. We've done that one.
Right.
So let me click that one there. In your opinion, do you expect 1.0 to be beta or release?
I think it would be foundational. And what I mean by that is minimum viable product type of thing. I don't think they're going to have everything they want.
Do you think it will be a beta version? They're still testing.
I think it would be more like I said, minimum viable product, like the basic gameplay of every single thing, but then you can build upon it. Because this game's going to take years to build. Years. Like even if they spent, I don't know what the time frame is. Say they spent 3 years building out, 3 to 5 years, and then they spent another 5 years on top of it. Follow me. Get it to stop. I don't know.
Hang
I'll
on.
put that back to you, John. How do you see that one?
It's all right. I just had a message from Pete there and I was trying to read it. So sorry about that, guys. Can you repeat what you want?
No, I was just saying the question you just asked. Could you answer that again? So, what are your thoughts on how they would do 1.0?
I think they're going to fetch out a beta version first before they actually bring out a live version of the game as such. But then again, I'm old and not used to all these things, so. But it was like World of Tanks and World of Warships. They had alphas, betas, then they released the game. That's how most games go. But this is not a. Gosh, it isn't. To me, it's not a game. It's basically a way of life for a lot of people who play it.
Well,
So
yeah.
and you never know what they're gonna do, and I think that's what makes it so exciting. As Hennypen says, they call it early access now. So instead of beta, it'll be early access.
Yeah,
Nice one, Hennypen.
yeah, I'd agree with you. The other thing is, I think they kind of want it to be more flushed out than most early accesses. I think if I put that back to chat as well, some early accesses are not quite ripe yet, and they need a bit more time in the oven. I think they kind of want it to be in a more. Look at what they're doing with Squadron. They don't want that thing out before it's ready. That they're taking the extra time. They don't. What was the game? Cyberpunk. He did. I don't want this to happen to my game. Remember, he said that in that 10 for the chairman, John. Do you remember that one, or was that before your time as well?
Yes, I do remember it, and I agree with you totally that
Yeah.
Squadron 42 has got to be picture perfect before they release it, because if it's not, uh, uh, he's going to get ripped to pieces.
Yeah. I'm trying to fix something in the background.
Uh, okay.
Do you
Oh,
want to do the next one, please, John?
yeah, this is from Stimpack Steve, and this one's for you. Sorry. How confident are you about streaming from CitizenCon now?
I probably would have changed certain things. I think we've over prepared. That makes sense. So
Yes.
I am convenient. I've talked to a lot more content creators now. We're here, and none of them have gone to the lengths that we've gone to, in equipment, but also like a lot of them are just streaming with a mobile phone, right? So the strength that we're going to have over other people is the fact that we've got Paul at home and us on the ground. But then on top of that, we've got a wired connection at the venue. Everyone else has got mobile phones. So say something goes bad, we can do something that about it. They can't. I think that kind of covers it, John. John, I've been
Yes,
doing a
it
John
does.
a lot about this.
Yes, it does cover it, I believe. You weren't too confident to start off with, but as the time's gone on, even though you've only been here just over a day, you are feeling more confident about what you and Algared have done
Yeah,
to give them a clear picture of what happens.
I'm not ignoring you, by the way, guys. I'm trying to actually.
I think you're going to do well.
Open the settings. Trying to log in the.
Because Penny Pen, he's turned around and said your dedicated net connection at the venue was smart. Convention centres go out of their way to make connectivity suck without paying them,
Oh,
which
really?
is what you basically said earlier on, but not in
Yeah,
those words.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Well, yeah. Well, that's all. We're preparing for the worst. So shit, mate. That map. Find my password.
okay, well, the next one, if you finish with that one, then is feathers. He says, not really a question. You seem to have been right about the base building ships, since the ship panel is base building focused.
Yeah, well, that was obvious with all this code. Come on, guys! Like, I'm not a rocket scientist. I'm just connecting dots, and I always put this back to you guys. And if you guys all came out and resoundingly said, "No, you're a freaking idiot," I'd get the message loud and clear. But it's in the lines of code. Like, if they're putting base building, base building, base building, base building, then it's clearly a ship about farming. Like, it's not rocket science. Why is this?
Isn't that what they did with the Fat Fury? Being a racing ship?
Well, technically, it still is a reason.
Yeah, I know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
How you doing, man?
You're allowed to, Lemming.
Hello.
Hello.
How you been, mate?
Pretty good.
I haven't seen you in a
Hurricane blew
couple
over.
years.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, you're in Florida.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yep.
Not close to
Had
you at
little.
all? Or?
Yeah, it kind of went. Like about.
Did you lose your eyebrows? Type of thing.
No, I still have my eyebrows, but it went about 40, 50 miles south of me.
Oh, so it would have got windy then.
Yeah, we had about 70 to 80-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah, I
I
got to
guess
be
we.
honest. I was watching some of the live cameras from the storm chasers during that, and it was pretty iffy at times in some of the areas.
Yeah, it got dicey a little bit to the south of me.
Yeah, well, I was over there for 6 years. I wasn't in Florida, but I was in North Carolina, and we had a few iffy storms come through then. So I can I understand how it feels to be in that situation.
Oh, we had a storm go through North Carolina a couple weeks ago and just devastated the western part of the state. So
Yes, it happens. The amount of work we used to get after even after a northeaster, because I was in the Outer Banks, and
okay.
the work we used to get after a northeaster was nobody's business. We was running around like chickens without heads at times, trying to get everything done.
Um.
Okay, the next question, I think we've gone over this earlier from Socially Confused. Have you used the Zeus yet? If so, opinion.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, we did. Did you get that earlier? Socially Confused. It I like the ship. I like the style and everything, but it is, as uh, Execute said, very pokey inside. It means you don't have a lot of room once you've got all your stuff in there.
Sorry, I've got it set up to press buttons to change the scenes for Paul, and so as I'm typing this code in, is wrong code. Trying to get this logged in. Um.
The next question it will be for you. It's from Parker. Have you heard from Minion Soldier at all recently?
No, I haven't heard from him in a long time. Yeah, why? Is he stopped making content?
I don't know. If he can type in, whether he's on YouTube or Twitch, if he can type in and let us know what he means by that, you'll be able to answer it better. And the next one is from JTech. Sorry if you've already been asked, but I just woke up. How was the trip over X? Pretty dedicated to go that far.
Just long. Watched all. It was just uncomfortable sitting in the same chair. That's basically what it's. You know,
Yeah.
like I slept on John's couch last night, and it was more comfortable than the chairs on the that way. You know, and so
Oh, just to let you know, it is a recliner.
yeah. But
I did tell him he could have the bed and I'd sleep on the couch, but he's being polite and saying, I'm not going to steal your bed. So I said, okay, not going to argue. But this one, I should imagine, will be from you. This is Jag Macon. If the rumoured leaked ships are real, which ships do you think will be revealed at CitizenCon or IAE, respectively?
yeah, I can't. Based on size, the Guardian and the Intrepid are roughly the same size, so they should technically have one at each event. Also, based on what we saw, that the Misfortune's a smaller one, the Lance is a larger one, but also you'd have to assume that there are other ships that are. Again, based on the thing, there were 9 ships. This only accounts for 5, right? We also know that there are Titan suits coming. You got to do the math. Like, I have to assume some of them in there are red herring. So, it's, it's enough to hang myself.
Sorry
With,
about
you know
that,
what I mean?
mate. I'm reading some of the questions farther down.
I
They make
can
me
I,
laugh.
I can jump in. So,
Yeah, go for it.
based on the schedule, I would say that nothing other than base building ships is coming at CitCon. So that would mean that the Intrepid,
Yeah, that makes sense.
the Fat Fury, both of the MISC ships. I don't think either one of them have a space at CitizenCon. But so that would be my guess.
Uh, if
That
you
makes sense actually. I'd agree with that. Thought about it a
if you're
bit more than
happy
me.
with that one, next question from Limited Respawns. Have you tested your mobile internet?
We got a SIM card today, didn't we?
Yes. So we should be okay for that.
But no, I haven't actually tested. I give up. I putting these codes in.
We'll test that more tomorrow when he's had another rest, because I think he's still suffering from jet lag, as well as just everything being the same but so different. If you can understand that statement. And so we'll go on to the next question.
Please, yeah. Sorry, I'm still trying to fix.
It's all right. You don't have to look at them to answer the questions. This is from Aurelius Indomitus. Any spoilers about the physical goodie pack?
None whatsoever.
I haven't heard anything from
We
anybody
did
about
get
what's there.
we did get an email about the ship tours. What did you get?
No.
5:30. That's the only thing.
Oh, did everybody hear that? What he just said?
No, I didn't understand it.
Try again, X.
Oh, why can't you hear?
No, I
Because
can
you
hear
was
you.
looking away from the mic.
I just didn't
Oh, okay.
understand you.
So basically, they've got ship tours. CitizenCon studio tours. And if you have
Okay.
if you have a VIP ticket, I got an email to say when would I like to come to a tour on Sunday. There is times at 4:30, 5:30, and 6:30. I reached out to Algared and he still hasn't got back to me. So I'm probably just gonna see you, Griff.
I missed the first part of the stream. Did Algared land?
Yeah, no, Algared doesn't get here into Manchester. He'll get here on the 15th. He's still in Indonesia until like the 3rd.
Ah, okay.
So he's still got he's only gone 5 hours of the 29 hours.
Gosh.
So he's still got 24 hours to get here. Yeah. And he kind of went slightly diagonal and up when I went like kind of diagonally across. So he's kind of probably however long it takes to go from Indonesia to Dubai, and I assume based on rough math that's probably going to be 11 hours maybe, right, to fly there, and then he's got to go from Dubai so he's probably got 18 hours without it, just flying, no gaps. Hunter Mave, $10 super chat. Buy Sean Tracy a beer and tell him Mech Warrior, Living Legends lives forever. Understand? If I see him, I will remember. John, write that down. Secretary
Hey,
John, write that down.
what down?
So Hunter May wants us to buy Sean Tracy beer and say, tell him Mech Warrior, Living Legend lives on forever.
But basically, you remember that because I won't.
Oh, there's no way. With all the shit I send it to me on Discord, please, Hunter.
It might be easier.
Because then I can pull it up on my phone, where I can't pull this stuff up on my.
That last question was the physical goodie pack, wasn't it? So the next question is from Drop Yogurt. Do you think we'll get to name our ships at launch?
A lot of the ships can already be named. Just they haven't turned on for the other ships because they got things. That's just in a nutshell. This is just
Hunter May what? Oh, then Hunter May wants to know what are you looking at doing in Pyro the most?
That I can't really do in Sten. Have to be something. Have been before I came over here. I was hanging out with Agent Letty and some of the stuff with them. I was just being like their cargo lackey while they were pirating stuff. It was fun. I enjoyed that.
But I'm looking forward to exploring Pyro fully because when they gave you the gameplay, there was only part of it open. What about you, Lemming? Oh, he's left us for a minute. But yeah, exploration. What I'll be looking forward to doing and seeing what sort of minerals you can mine.
I think I'm gonna for the most part stay out of Pyro. There's nothing really there that interests me. Yep.
But I shall just go there with like a medium ship, which I hope will be quick enough to get out the way of everybody who wants to kill you.
Yeah. I mean, I could see like running food. I think that'll probably be profitable.
I shall just want to explore first and then get your bearings so you know where you can fly and where you can't fly mainly, which is the main point of going into Pyro in the first place. Because I'm sure there's going to be safe places where you can go and trade, but until you've been in there and gone around them, you won't know what to do.
I think there is going to be an exploration element as well. Basically being a new system. Do that as well. Hey, Grim, hope Grim couldn't make it. I'm breaking my heart. A few people couldn't make it this year, actually, that I up with. You're one of them. Paul's not making it. Space is not. We'll get to see Loken though. So two other people I want to see. I don't think there's anyone there I don't want to see. See that.
Worst part of that is he's going to see me at CitizenCon as well.
You didn't get the joke. Unless you said besides John and you missed it.
Well, I was ignoring you like I normally do. Pardon? Okay, the next one is from Mark Jones. How long will it take to bring all the old ships up to gold standard? And would it be done before 1.0 release?
No, I think that's going to be because older ships clearly need it, or the newer ones. You also got diminishing returns. So, do you do a ship that was done 12 months ago, or do you let it age a little bit, get even a bit more dilapidated, and then do it? I think it's going to be a constant thing where they're constantly going back and doing whatever the oldest one is and bringing up to the current. And you got 200 ships. Do you honestly think they can all go back and bring them up to the same level? I don't think it's possible. Well, you tell me, John. I don't think it's possible. And I put that out to Grim as well in chat.
I don't think we're going to get gold standard until they've got the majority of ships out, because as the later ships come out, they've got better parts in them and better things, which the old ones don't have. So as they keep improving the way they're making ships, it's going to take longer to go back and improve the old ones.
Apparently my audio is cutting in because I'm head a little bit. Might because the mic's
I think
a
it
little
is.
bit. It's probably because I turned the gain up on the mic because I was trying to get John to come through on this mic, and now I've probably cut it too much. And I'm trying to jerry rig something so it points more at myself.
That's an advert.
Is that a bit better? There we go. Yeah, it's pointing more at me. But if it continues, let me. Next question, John.
Yeah, this was from Cobra 9 Delta. Were they still claiming master modes was a success?
I don't know. I think a master mode is still ongoing. Wouldn't you guys say? We don't have armor.
So master mode is an evolution. So you can't call it a success or a failure. It's a path to a place that they're going.
Yep.
And I don't even think they know where that place is.
Well, I think they're following the plans they laid like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And
it's an ongoing process.
Yeah.
Yes.
Essentially, we had the same thing as a placeholder while they were working on Squadron 42, and it's now like, all right, now I'm going to come back and work at Star Citizen. And these people are like, no, leave it where it was. And they're like, are you serious? Like, no, we're going to build the game we promised. That's what I'm hearing, and that's what I'm seeing. Essentially, these people complaining that they want the old flight model back when they have to put in all these other things that won't work with the old flight model. How do you get physicalized atmospheric flight? How do you get armor? How do you get all the different weapon types? You don't. How do you get the Newtonian physics? How do you get the resource component systems? How do you get longer to time to kill? You don't.
If you look at it, if you do bunkers and distribution centers, and the armor does make a slight difference there. If you're wearing light armor compared to heavy, light armor, you get shot a couple of times, you're out the door. If you've got the heavy armor on, even at the moment, it'll take a bit more damage to get through to you. Whatever. So that's all ongoing. So you can't, as Lemming said, you can't say it's a success or failure at the moment, because they haven't. They're nowhere near the finished product.
Yeah, I think you can't comment until it's kind of done or a different endpoint. We're at the beginning. You got steps. Just repeating what Grim said in chat. He said, "Yeah, the gold standard thing. I think they have a strike team assembled to deal with that stuff moving forward." So, do you think they're going to just continually keep updating them to keep all the ships at the same level? So they go back to the older ones and just they're kind of like spinning plates, trying to keep. Is that what you're trying to essentially say, Grim? Kind of what I'm hearing, or am I reading?
So I would suspect for them to so when we're done with RSI, like the new RSI ships, is for them to take all of that knowledge that they've gotten, like putting together the Zeus and everything, and the Polaris and everything like that, and go back and look at the RSI catalog and say, okay, well, we could just use this stuff that we have over here and bring all of those up, and then the next one will be Drake or Misk or wherever they're going.
I don't know. I don't know how to comment on that because they could go both. I don't know. I think the ship, whatever the big ship is, right? Like for me, it's really obvious. If they bring out that big Drake ship that I'm kind of assuming out because of the ironclad, then it points heavily towards Drake. But also, we saw a bunch of misships potentially this year. So did they? Does that mean they're working on bigger misships after that? Like, are they scaling them up?
I think that they're
Or are they
building the library.
or are they
and
doing or are they doing both? Are they doing some Drake, some Miss? You know what I mean? Like why if you think about it from a motivational standpoint, would you want to spend the entire year working on the same shit? Or would you like to be able to jump around and work on different things? You know what I mean? So if you can work on a Miss ship and work on a Drake, I'm almost wondering if that came out of a meeting and someone said, I don't want to work on the same shit, I will go banana. I don't know. That's just kind of where my brain goes. I could be completely wrong.
I think it matters on the person. So some people, like, they were talking about this, I think about a year and a half ago, and they
Yeah.
were saying that like somebody would work on RSI for a while, and then they would switch to go to work on Drake, and all of their Drake stuff looks very RSI. So it's rough on the artists, I think they said.
I think that's an individual thing as well. Some artists,
Yeah.
find it hard to let stuff go, and other artists really thrive on different things. Again, really, I don't know what it's like for you, but I've worked with a lot of creative people. You have to let them work the way they kind of want to work. That's how you get the best out of them.
And I think CIG knows that,
Yep,
and
agreed.
it encourages that.
Yeah, yeah. So if you are someone that just like you are the best Drake guy in the world, and all you want to do is Drake, they'll let you do that. Then if you just get bored at the drop of a hat, they'll let you change to whatever you want. I think that's the best way you got to be with creative people. And let's be honest, anyone that follows video games like we all do would also agree that money people, as an example, sometimes don't understand that, and it goes really bad. Yeah. Next question,
Yeah,
John.
I
John's
agree.
gone really quiet. What are you doing over there, John?
Yeah, well, basically, I think you've got it right because Chris Roberts is a creative person anyway. So
Agreed.
he's going to give his workers a lot more leeway than just a money person. And did you say you wanted the next question now?
Please, sir.
All right, then. This is from Zerex. Zerez. Do you
Correct.
think they will discuss the economy? What is the chance of it coming in, say, the next 12 months? And what do you think of the last server meshing test? Personally, I love the progress.
Yeah, well, I think we'd have to agree there's some form of progress if they went from 800 to 2,000.
Yes.
I put that to you, and because you know what I'm thinking. But I'll put that. Let's put it to you, Lemming. What's your thoughts on it?
It's insane how long they left it at 2,000. I was expecting for them to put it
To
at
drop it?
2,000, for it to explode everything, and then 30 minutes later they're like, okay, we're going to take it back to a reasonable level. I'm floored that they left it at 2,000 for as long as they did. That is amazing.
Um, and that doesn't mean they're going to hit 2,000. But would you? I don't know. I'll put this back to you two boys. If you half that, do you think a lot more? Because I didn't see it, obviously. So that's why I'm asking you. Think it would be a lot more polished at 1,000?
Yeah, I think it would have been because 2000, if you've ever been to a Black Friday sale, you imagine going through the door, tripping over and getting trampled on by everybody else. That was what it was like getting into the train at New Babbage. But it was going quite smoothly with I think we had just over 1,700 in the server I was in at the time, and there was no hanging about or anything. But if you got knocked over, you got no chance of getting back up in the rush.
All right. All right.
I think that they have serious design problems. So like right now, New Babbage,
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it's 12 stories tall. So that would mean that there's probably enough room for 120 people to spawn at New Babbage at a time.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Oh, again, that's actually not a bad analogy to look at the floors that they have on the stations.
yep,
The that's what they're aiming for. They're aiming for that to be that many individuals in that city at once, because you want
right,
to have
exactly.
your without kind of having that word. I'm brain farting on it.
It instances.
Instances. Yes. Thank you very much. Sorry, I just instances. Um, That is interesting. And then again, down the road, don't you think they'll also add the ability to essentially have custom, like what they've shown with the interiors of buildings and stuff?
Yeah,
I
they're not
don't
going to
know
be
if
able. Oh, I'm
Lemming
sorry.
missed this earlier, but I got killed in the crush getting onto the train at New Babbage.
Yeah, there's also those trains are not very big. Um, so like imagine at IAE, um, everybody, for lack of a better term, sleeping in in New Babbage. And can you imagine when the gates open, like everybody rushing from the habs onto the train and to the showcase? It's going to be CitizenCon times 10. That's
Yes.
at 1,000 people. Um,
Think
the
about
game just
I
isn't.
think about AIE at the floor, like what that's like and how that goes
Yeah,
to shit every time they have that. And then you do that with 1,000 people. Can you imagine how packed the AIE like expo floor is going to be? Like that would be bananas. Like you're going to have instances of that thing. It's just even if you took out every single NPC, and then how many people do you reckon you could that hole? You guys have been there, and you know how big it is. What 300, 400, maybe five
yeah,
hundred, maybe. But you couldn't do 2,000. That thing would be.
yeah. It
Yeah.
would be. There would be a lot of death. A lot of death.
What it reminded me of, if you go back a few patches, and if you say you were the first person turn up in New Babbage and nobody been there for a while, you had all the NPCs stood in lines as if they was on parade. That's what it was like in the train station, but everybody was moving at once. Some had armor, some like me were just in flight suits. It was very dangerous.
Pretty much nobody except for the people in Britain have any idea how to queue. So I
Yes,
mean,
I
that
actually get
is
that joke.
true.
I get that joke now. Having been here, I get that joke. Yeah. When we went in the phone shop today, I had to wait for like half an hour to get served. There was 3 people in the shop. What the hell is this shit? I just wanted to leave. I walked straight back out, and I was like, I don't want to wait for this shit. This is too long.
Yeah, actually, to add to that, he came out and said to me, "Look, it's going to take ages." And while he was out moaning at me, somebody else walked in the shop, so he was further down the queue than when he started.
Damn English, waiting for it.
Okay, next question
Yep.
is from Zeus again. What is the chances that they have new ideas / designs already in mind or on paper, as they say, on what to change the? I can't read what that says. 22 after. After it's out,
Who-
Squadron 42 is out.
Question by, sorry? Ceres?
What is the chances
Yeah,
that they
I can
have?
see it. I just want to know which one it was so I can read this.
Zeres is the
Yeah.
question.
What chances
The
they have
last
any
smiley
ideas,
face underneath it, mate.
designs? What are the Yeah, of course they would. Yeah, of course they'd have new ideas. Don't you think base building is an idea that wouldn't be needed for Squadron 42?
so generally speaking, the way the game design works, at the very beginning of the design, the architect comes in and deems what is possible and what isn't. In this
Seen
case,
too much of the Matrix.
I mean,
Architect.
yeah. But like the person that's really in charge of the and says what's possible. Star Citizen is a very interesting. That never happened because had they done that, the game would have been out years ago and would suck because the technology wasn't what it is now. So in Star Citizen, it has to be a little bit more of a moving target, I think. And I think they have all of the designs that they have written down on paper because that's the only way that it works.
I agree with that. I would agree with that 100%. And that's
but
why
they don't know how they're going to get there.
But that's why we go back to those old documents. Because if they haven't said anything, that's all you've got to look at. You get the people going, oh, well, I've just got to make the assumption. That's not the case anymore. And that's not true. In most cases, when they have finally talked about something years later, spaceman, well, barely anything had changed. So I tend to just go with what they've ever told us. And if they've never told us, then you have to kind of go ask them. But yeah,
But I think that's what that final panel on
Yeah.
Sunday is going to be. Is going to be
Yeah.
talking about all the stuff that isn't what they originally thought it was going to be. At least that's what I hope it is.
Do you reckon it could be new gameplay, new things that they want to add that they've never talked about? Is that what you're trying to add to that? Like so, even next year, like the things they want to add in the next year, because that's kind of where base building landed, wasn't it? Was then on the last day. They said, "Oh, you're going to be knocking off base building next year."
Yeah. I think the main thing that they're going to be in that panel at least is talking about the Delta. I don't know if they're going to be actually talking about what's going to happen in the next year because, quite frankly, they did that last year and it didn't work. So I don't know if they will.
A lot to think about.
Well, again, you essentially like I think back to last year before CitizenCon dropped, how vague everything was in those panel descriptions, and some of them were just not what they kind of said it was gonna. Like it was in the ballpark, but it was like deliberately vague. And I kind of come back to that again now because I read some of those panels and they feel like I'm reading fluff. You know what I mean? They're not telling me what they're about. They're just saying, "I'm explore new worlds that are amazing and pretty and sparkle." They don't tell me, "Come and look at this." Planetary Design Tech 5 and why it's so damn amazing and why a game's going to be the best. It's all marketing. All right, next question, please.
Okay, well, we've got one from ethnification you might enjoy.
Yep.
Execute. How are you finding the UK so far? Live long and John Citizen. I don't know what he means by the last 5 words, but there you go.
Live long, John Citizen. Where do you live?
No, it's live long and John Citizen.
Isn't it live long and prosper? That's
But it is live long and prosper, but it's live long and John Citizen he put on the end. But he wants to know what you think of the UK so far.
Well, as I said to you earlier, it's a lot like Tassie. I mean, if you're Australian and you've never been to Tassie, like England, surprisingly, I didn't know that it was going to be like that. I left in spring and I've arrived in autumn, and I'm wearing exactly the same clothes type of thing that I was wearing at home then. The temperature's almost identical. Um, it's just crazy how similar it is. I could quite happily move here tomorrow and be fine. Put it that way. I feel like I'm at home. So yeah, but I'm on the other side of the world.
Have you seen the sun yet?
Yes.
Yes, it's amazing.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
On the
Every
way in,
day.
it was amazing, just like it was at home. Yes, they have a bit of grey skies here and there, but I get them at home too because it's just the more north or south you go, feel like you're going to Canada. You're in Florida. You're essentially on the tropics. Like if you go up to New York, doesn't it get grayer as you go up to New York? I'm assuming you've been to New York.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's the same thing. It's just that, you know, you got to realize under Australia, there's not anything. Up here, there's a lot of landmass off in Europe, and so, shares it. But it just England happens to be an island just like Tassie in roughly the same spot, just on the other hemisphere. All right, John, how do you think I've been finding it here?
Pain in the ass. No, he's been fine, honestly. No, it's been good. It's very nice to see somebody come over here from a place which is very similar and say, "I feel like I'm home."
Yeah, it does feel like home, and I can just see a lot of similar. Well, they left here. They were exiled, or what's the word?
But they were turned into convicts for
Yeah,
stealing things which should everybody should have had. Like a loaf of bread. You stole a loaf of bread. You were a convict. You were a
but
criminal, and
but
bang, you'd gone.
but weren't they trying to bring population numbers down or something like that as well? There was London was overpopulated. I'm telling, because my mum's a history.
Yeah, I think they used that as an excuse. They were just very hard taskmasters. But
Yeah.
if you didn't do as you were supposed to, bang, you were gone. You were out of the door. You were like revolutionaries, basically, the ones they shipped over there. You weren't happy with the status quo, and they didn't want you causing trouble, so they kicked you out the country.
Well, apparently a lot of the women that came in the second fleet, they were like women that lived on the street. They were like true hardcore survivors. So people joke about the oh, it's clawing off the yolk. Um, that they lived on the streets and stuff like that, but they were survivors because of it. So that probably helped them survive all the spiders and snakes, deadly animals.
Yeah, and now we've got two from feathers now. If you finish with that one.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm just marking them both off first before I read them out to you. That's what ratio of flight ready to straight to flyable are you expecting at CitizenCon or IAE? And then he adds below it, make that concept to straight to flyable.
I think we can safely argue the ones in the file is that five of the nine are straight to flyable. It's that there's five in the files. The other five are probably concepts of some description, but also you'd also lean that most of the ones in the files are smaller. Besides the Star Lancer.
Oh,
I think
Pete
that's
wants to
logical, isn't it?
know, if I can just interrupt you,
No,
Pete
no.
wants to
If
know,
he wants to know, he can get on this chat and talk to us like he should from the start. He can
he
get in.
sent you some DMs in Discord.
What a cheek! Doesn't even get on bloody. I asked John Pete to join us, and he said can't be bothered. What did he say? He doesn't send me anything. I don't have anything from.
Oh, he might have sent them to me then.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Hunter, mate. I got it. Thank you. Yes, yes, and Stimpack Steve, I got your message on Discord, and you said yes. But if you're reading this or listening to it, Stimpack Steve, I am typing one. Very much.
Do you want to come over here a second if you can?
You want me to come over there
Yes,
and leave
please.
stream looking at this wall?
Yeah, yeah. Just
Can't
have a
you
chair
send it?
stream for a minute.
Can't you send it to me on Discord and I just read it?
Well, no, I've got it up on the big screen here so you can see what Pete sent.
Oh, let me have a look. Maybe it's important.
It might be. That's a blow up of that picture there. Sneak peek of the week.
those that are wondering what he's showing me, he's just showing me the sneak peek that came. So let's pull that up and we'll have a look at it. But from what I saw there very briefly, I think that's going into refineries. Going to that theory I was talking about earlier, John.
Okay, I'm sending this to your Discord then, okay?
Yeah, just to me. Yep, straight to me. Thank you, John. Not you. There it is. Thank you, John.
You're
So
welcome.
to address Citizen Ninja that's in the Twitch chat.
What happened to your mic? What happened to your mic? You've gone all muffled.
I have?
Yeah, you've gone all muffled on.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. You're saying?
It's interesting. I guess I can't talk to that part of the mic. There's no reason for the ships to be in the files if they are constant.
Yeah, pretty much. So again, I think it talks to the fact that they're just right. I've got to switch screens so I can look at this. Not about you guys, but that looks like a cargo elevator. In a refinery area. What was the what is it? Can anyone tell me that, because I don't have it in front of me. I don't even have my email in front of me. Can anyone tell me the line?
Yeah, it's something about. I hope that's not
Abandoned
radioactive.
space station. If I can interrupt, for Peter's just typed in Twitch, mate.
What did he type in?
Abandoned space station.
No, that's not. That's not what it would say. Something. What did you say?
So it says something along the lines of, "I hope it's not radioactive."
Power? Does that say power?
Which based on the way that they generally are, a radioactive is a song. So I would want to go and look at the lyrics to Radioactive, the song.
Radioactive. I mean that one.
Yeah.
Radioactive. Yeah, maybe he would think along those lines. Or that. Not have the sneak peek yet.
Pipework has a radioactive symbol.
I don't know. I seem to think. I still seem to think it's like binary stuff. Wouldn't you have like chem like that? Because I know there's a lot of acids.
In my mind, it's not a ship. Pass.
No,
Yep.
I don't think it's a ship. I think it's
I think Pete was right. It's an abandoned space station, and no dragon is typing in Twitch. It's for repair missions. That makes sense. Again, mate.
Explain your thought process. Why do you think it makes sense?
Well, basically, if it's an abandoned space station, they've abandoned it because there's something went wrong in there, right?
Yep.
Now that they are bringing in repair missions as well, aren't they? I'm sure I've read that somewhere.
Yes.
So what is a bigger repair job than an abandoned space station where a team would have to go in, get it up and running again, and then you could claim it for yourself if you've got enough people to hold it? Thank you, No Dragon, Marcus, for that idea about repair missions.
All right. Next one.
Okay, this one is Franca Blue with the new engineering gameplay. Is it going to be disable an enemy ship with weapons fire, board the ship with FPS gear, and then plunge the cargo?
Say that again with the new FPS.
With the new engineering gameplay,
Oh,
is
right.
it going to be disable the enemy ship with ship and weapon fire, board the ship with FPS gear, and then plunder the cargo?
I think it's depend on how lucky you are at taking parts of the ship. Think about that. If you've got all those components, what parts of the ship? could get extremely lucky. The whole ship just goes up in one power swoop. We also know there's cascade failures, so you can have power plants that explode, cause massive. Some ships will be better designed than others. So does the Drake ship not be designed as well, so it can just essentially poof and it's gone? We know about things like the gravity generators and big one starts floating. I don't know. That's a really layered question. There. It's essentially asked how many different ways can you destroy a ship. That's a lot.
So I think it matters on who you're working for, on like why you're blowing up the ship.
Hmm.
So is your mission to just murder everybody, or is your mission to capture somebody? Because that's going to be different things. I mean, if you like, they've said that even when ships lose their hit points and they don't just explode, that if you shoot something enough, it will eventually explode. So I think it matters who you're working for.
But I think it's perfect gameplay. This is what they're doing now, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's you want something that's easy to learn but hard to master, and that actually layer of the answer. Essentially asking how many different, and it's not a straightforward question I can answer because even if you took the same ship, right, you would have to make the assumption that let's just take it down to one component. Two different power plants from different manufacturers. You can't tell me dodgy manufacturer won't be more likely to explode than the one that you paid the premium. And that's just one
And
example, and you lay that
hang,
across all the other things as well.
hang on a minute, mate. It's just Wyatt has said stop turning your head because it's messing up with your speech.
Oh, well, I'm talking to John. He's ugly, but he's just over there. That's why, and I'm trying to minimize him coming through the mic as well. So that's why I've kind of put it like a put.
So, Frankie Blue, I think the answer to your question is that sort of gameplay is already in. If you watch any, like Mongrel Squad, they actually that's what they do. They go in, disable the ship, and then float over in FPS gear and do that already. And they don't do it to just blow up a ship. They do it to plunder the cargo. To me, that's what a proper pirate does. You don't sink the ship, then throw somebody overboard to try and get the gold, do you?
I think the other part of people, a lot of people, pirates, people look at PV fight. They're going to be the escort.
Yes.
Think about it in history terms. Like, how do you know your American history fairly well, Lemming?
I mean, I did.
Do you know much about Wild Earp?
No, not really.
So back in that time period, there were a lot of people that were lawmen that ended up becoming cowboys and the bad guys because they were disgruntled and so they took what they knew and used it against the establishment. So what Wild Earp essentially went lawless. That's why those happened, and he wasn't the only one. It was multiple. In fact, one of the guys that he was trying to track down was a former lawman before he turned himself. So that's how common it was. Anyway, my point being is escort fighters also be pirates, and pirates can be. They will play for whoever pays them or more money. They can be brought.
That's another gameplay loop for people who like PvP.
Yep.
You pay them enough, they're going to escort you and destroy the pirates, hopefully.
Well, the other part it could be is they don't even run into pirates, so it's a job. Might be boring, but it's easy money.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
Okay, this one's for you. How many movies did you watch on the flight?
There's more than one flight. I watched 3 on the 14-hour one. And then the rest. I think I watched the first episode of Halo. I didn't watch it. I thought it was really bad. Then I watched 2. I think I watched Garfield. Most of Boy Kills. Didn't really. And I slept. Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't the best selection. That was the other thing. I filled up my phone with a whole bunch of movies off my phone. The screen was so big on the back of the thing, like little tiny phone or
Bigger screen.
a 10-inch size tablet.
So chat's saying that whatever change you made recently, not much of your audio is coming out over stream.
Right. Okay. I didn't really change anything. I think it's just because I keep turning my head to talk.
Don't. I think I'm going to put a barrier up between us.
Yeah, John is pretty loud when he talks. Like I've got my headphones on. I'm going to hear him clear as day. He's quite a loud talker. Looking around.
Basically, I can hear you speaking through my headphones over my headphones as well, so I get a bit of
Yeah.
an echo from you. I can live with it, and
Let me put it up here then, and see if I can get it to work up here closer. And that'll probably be a bit better. How's that? Put it up closer. On my chest now. Turn that up a little bit as well.
So after you moved it, I think the stream got better.
Yeah, thanks. Right.
if you had a bigger microphone, you could hold it up in front of your face, and the stream would be perfect.
I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna literally gonna kill him. Right.
Well, okay.
I'm gonna kill him. Fishman found dead, killed by Australian. Yeah.
Right, Jack
Yeah.
Mason again. Is John Citizen the Chuck Norris of Inforunners? No, I'm just a spare part he uses me to fill in now and again.
Yeah, he's so you would have seen episodes that said Algared's replacement and stuff like that. That's John. John tends to fill in for Algared a lot when Algared can't make things. As does Lemming from time to time as well. So, yeah. Right.
I'm just a bit part in his life.
Right. Next question, John. We've got about 15 minutes left before we'll call it.
This one is from Funkmaster96. Do you expect any STF in this year? Sorry if this was asked, got in late.
STF.
What does he mean by STF?
It's straight to flyable. Yes.
Straight to flyable. Yeah, those 5 we talked about earlier. They're on the leak server if you want to see them. We did a video that's on new CitizenCon ships. It's like the last video we did. Got like a yellow-blue theme, and it's the heart of a ship. Yeah, it's on the channel. Next, please, John.
Jag again. Do you think we'll see the fabled Anvil capital ship this year?
No.
But that was a quick answer.
Well, because I honestly think it's going to be Drake, based on other things that we've seen at previous times.
So that goes into his next question as well, then, because it's Jag again.
So we'll know that.
Hang on, John, hang on. Lemming wants to say something. Go ahead, Lemming.
So we'll know if the Anvil ship is possibly on the cards as soon as we have the IAE schedule.
Yeah,
probably
absolutely.
The second week in November. So wait 3 weeks, or
well,
wait.
It's usually the last day of the sale, isn't it? The biggest ship.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So whatever that last day of the sale is, like if it's Drake, it's probably going to be what we expected it was. If it's Anvil, then maybe it is the Anvil capital ship. But as our Lemming said, they traditionally come at AIE, not at Citizen. So yeah. I do think the more I think about it now, that actually makes a lot of sense, though, what I was saying before about how the straight to flyable ones are all in the same patch, and there's 5 of them, and then there's 4 that we don't know about. That would make sense. Having 5 that are straight to flyable, you divide that by, cut it down the middle, 3 at one, 2 at the other type of thing. And I'd have to assume it's 2 at CitizenCon, and then 2, 3 at AIE, just based on the sale size.
Yeah, so if I had to guess, there's going to be 2 straight to flyable at CitCon, maybe 1 or 2 concepts. I don't know.
You break down the fact that the Fat Fury's got a racing variant, I think that's got to be CitizenCon. And I think that means the Intrepid comes at the end. So that's those 2. You've got the Star Lancer, which is a larger ship, but you're also knowing that you're probably going to get a capital ship at CitizenCon. At AIE. I could see the Lancer coming at CitizenCon. But the other 2, they're the harder ones to tell. Base building and what was the other one? Yeah, the Intrepid's got to be the end. Yeah, I go down the lines of the base building thing too. Does that mean you could get the Fat Fury and the Intrepid at the end at AIE? And then you get the Misfortune, the Star Lancer, and the vehicles.
I think that the Misfortune isn't next year.
Really? Okay.
But that's just
I don't know. You saw what I think about it. I think it is designed at taking down bases. I think it's clearly what it's tailored at. Something that's smaller than the Vulture, and it does base build, does salvage. Not what I was expecting, unless the lines of codes are red herring, obviously. Plausible. Hard. It's very, very hard when you now know they're doing red herrings. So.
That what you two just said filtered into his next question was, which manufacturer do you see getting the big focus next year?
Would you agree, Lemming, it's whatever that capital ship is? Most likely?
Nope. I think it's RSI. I think that they have at least another 6 to 8 months working on it.
I think a part of it is they probably weren't just working on RSI. I think
Okay.
that's what I'm starting to learn. I think they said they were going to work on RSI, like on the Polaris, and then they were going to work on other big ships after that. But again, look, we know a Crusader is coming, we know a Mirai is coming, we know 2 Mist ships potentially coming. You see where I'm going with this, right? So yeah, while the big ships might be RSI, it looks like the small ones are other things. So I think what they'll do is they'll just cycle through who the bigger ships are while making other ones to build up the libraries for others.
Yeah, I can see that.
So my thing would be is after he's right, they've got the Perseus to do and they've got the Galaxy to do. That's next year. So I think the question kind of becomes not next year, but after they finish those 2, what is the next big manufacturer? And I think just based on what John Cruz said at CitizenCon last year about at the after party about you're looking at ships for Squadron 42, because you look at the Polaris as an example, right? That is clearly tailored at episode 2 of Squadron 42, because what do you get out of it in Star Citizen? From a gameplay perspective, what do you get out of it? Nothing.
You get a ship that belongs in Xenothreat. Other than that, nothing.
Yeah, nothing. Right? And again, couldn't you do that with the Idris?
Yeah.
Couldn't you do that with the Javelin? You know what I mean? And again, you look at the other really large capital ships. So you got Pioneer, Orion, Endeavor, and things like that. The only one that kind of lends itself to Squadron 42 episode 2 is the Kraken. It's the only other one that's kind of like the Polaris that's left. There isn't any other. Besides, say, something like the Nautilus or the Perseus. And knowing what he said, and knowing that they dropped the Ironclad, which is the biggest ship they've ever sold at Invictus, and usually we get a large ship, like we got the Galaxy and we got the Perseus which were both large ships at CitizenCon. Not sorry, IAE. That process of elimination, you've got to assume a bigger capital ship is coming at.
So was the Kraken not at Invictus for the concept?
Kraken was actually CitizenCon.
Oh, was it really? Okay.
Yeah, as was the Pioneer, believe it or not.
I mean, the hint that's on the schedule, the revisiting an old favorite or something along those lines, or revisiting something old. I wonder if they were talking about the Pioneer or if they were talking about something else.
What's a large old favorite ship?
I mean, considering the panel that they're doing it in, I think it's the Pioneer, but
they called it a classic. A classic means it has to have been out at some point.
yeah, that's true.
I'm going to throw this out there and feel free to shoot me down. Starfarer.
Starfarer, or what Wahoo just said, and I agree with this.
What did he
Poor
say?
Connie. It's hard to look at the Zeus and then look at the Connie and be like, wow.
Oh, yeah. And we know they're working on the Gal. Oh, yeah, you could be onto something there, boys. Yeah, no, I'll give you that one. But all the struts and shit, revisiting a classic, and it is... Yep. Like, you take the Hornet out of the game, it is the classic. It is.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm with you on that one. Yep. John, you want to weigh in on that one?
No.
Well, too fucking bad. What do you want to say? If you had to pick a classic ship besides the Hornet, it'd have to be the Connie, surely. And it is in a shithouse place.
But basically, yes. I class the Andromeda as a classic ship for Star Citizen.
Mm.
It's so hard to look at it and then look at the Zeus. Like the Zeus is artwork. It's
and 600i rework is such copium. Do you know why they talked about a rework? Because that's a plan to do at a much later time. That's what that is. People think, oh, that means they're working on next year. No, they wouldn't have even mentioned it if they were going to work on it until they'd started work on it. The fact that they brought out all the concepts and that was just telling you how far down the road it was. It's coming, but it's going to be ages away. At least 12 months.
One way that I could see the 600i being the one that they're talking about there is if it's getting some kind of construction mod.
The other thing is, though, that 600i is not a classic, though. A classic is like an everyman ship that a lot of people own, and the 600i, I'm sorry, but comparable to other ships, Origin ships are just outpriced because of their expense, right? I will go as far as to say that the 600i is probably the most popular Origin ship, but it's not a classic. You know, and by the same token, Drake ships would not be classics because there are a lot of people that, you know, any ship that's polarizing would not be a classic. I'm trying to, John, can you think of another example of a ship that would be polarizing?
No, the Andromeda, in my opinion, but I've been playing. It's the only ship I buy in game every time I can afford it. Yeah, when we have a wipe.
Like the 400i, when that came out, and I was like, I call it the ugly duckling. You know, because it is elegant, but there's a lot of people that are just off put by it because of how bold it was. You know, it's the same type of thing. Not all style hits with all people. So yeah, a classic something. Chris Roberts' favorite ship. It's kind of well known. Like you said that a lot.
To me, the Andromeda is the prop. Is the posh Cutty Black, really, because it does everything the Cutty Black does, but does it better.
Yep. I think you'd have to say the Zeus though now. Because the Zeus is...
Well, no, it's the Zeus is pokey. I love the way it looks and everything. It's really, really nice ship, but it's not what I expected.
You know, the first thing I thought of when you said it looks really, really nice, and it goes great with dip. That was the first thing I thought of when you said that. Just a giant iron crunch. Anyway.
That's like the birthday cake compared to a normal cake.
Yeah.
isn't it? The Zeus is a nice looking ship. There's no ifs and buts.
Mm.
The Andromeda is so much better.
OG Zeus in chat by Byron Jennings kind of covers it. The OG Zeus.
Now, if you finish with that one, the next two are
Please.
statements from Frankie Blue.
All right, go for it.
Because he said, my mum really likes the Lake District. There are lakes with boats. Of course, there's boats. And also London Dungeons and the Shard.
London
It's
Dungeons.
places for you to
Hey,
visit, he's
is that
talking about.
well? It's a place for me to visit. It's a place for me to take John. I think.
No, I'll just give you the bus fare and bugger you off. So I can have some peace and quiet.
Yeah. Poor Diane. Poor Diane. Oh, that's not a bad call either. I've got to chuck that back to because I did talk with Grim about this earlier in the year. The Aurora, an old classic. The Aurora.
I could see that.
That's what I meant. Like start to think about ships that are classics. I go back to the original 5. All those are original classics. The Cutlass, the Freelancer, the Connie, the Aurora, and the 300i. They're the original 5.
So let's damper down expectations because it's easy to get your head in the clouds now. Maybe it's just the Super Hornet.
That's the other one. I keep forgetting about Super Hornet. But it says revisiting an old classic. They've already done the Super Hornet.
Well, we haven't seen the Super Hornet.
Well, we've seen it in the code, and it was really obvious once they dropped the F7A. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm
just
trying to
again. It could be right there. There's something there, like revisiting. You're going back to the Hornet series, and here, by the way, here are all the new ones.
Yeah. So again, I'm just trying to
again
cool things down a little bit.
I go back to those original 6 ships on Kickstarter because I think they are the classics. They are the OG, the originals, and I think it's got to be something to do with them.
What about the Titan?
The Titan wasn't an original; it came later.
Did it? Okay.
Yeah. So the Super Hornet was the Hornet was the first. The Super Hornet actually came later, but it's essentially the Hornet, and then the Cutlass Black, 300i, the Aurora, and the Connie.
Yeah, I remember where you
and the
could only get
Freelancer.
the
Sorry,
Cutty Black. Where was the Cutty Black originally sold? What was the
Kickstarter
moon and the base?
Oh, I don't know, but it was on Kickstarter. So
okay.
yeah. So
Next
one of those
question
6.
then, is it?
Please. All right, we've got 5 minutes left. How many questions have we got left, John?
1, 2, 3,
about
4,
10.
5.
All right, let's
7.
let's do lightning
about
round.
7.
Yeah, lightning round on a couple of them.
Okay, this one this is from Seth's Speed Shop. To avoid having this sitcon based about Pyro again, do you think we'll have a surprise system drop? If so, which systems?
I think it's probably about base building more than anything else, just based on the topics. You guys correct me if you think I'm wrong there. There's a lot of base building stuff.
But aren't some of these systems they're talking about sort of deserted, basically, and base building would be good to move into those systems?
If you were doing the very next system in the line of 5, it would have to be Nyx. We also know that Levski was in Nyx, so there's also part of it pre-built, and it's mainly asteroid-based system. There's no planetary bodies in the system. It's all asteroids.
And I think asteroids are absolutely prime for base building.
Absolutely.
So I could see them just as kind of a side topic being like, oh, by the way, Nyx is coming next.
Yep.
Well, basically, yeah, that's what. Sorry, I missed this part out.
And then walk off the stage.
Which systems? And then he's got in brackets Nyx, Terra, etc.
Terra is going to be one of the last ones you see just to do its size and scale. Essentially, Terra is Earth, but not stuffed up, so it doesn't take them as long. Like, it's more detailed. So yeah, Terra is going to be one of the last planets they do because I think it's going to have to be one of the most detailed to be pulled off properly. Much like how they've got to redo ArcCorp with the oceans and all that. You know, Terra is going to be they'll probably do Art Corp, because Art Corp has a lot involved in it with the oceans, all the different buildings and stuff like that. Terra is going to be somewhat similar to that, but it's like a huge mega city. But yeah. Terra is going to be a complicated planet, I think. Super Earth, essentially, is what it is. Next question, please.
Okay, this is from Radium TX.
Right.
Good day, gents. Will you be having any giveaways during CitizenCon?
I haven't planned any, but I am going to have a meeting with Paul probably this weekend, and we'll work some stuff out. We'll see. Again, I don't know. I'll have to talk to John about it too. John can probably, what do you call it, twist my arm.
Okay, the next one is a statement again from Frankie Blue. You should get a second SIM card from a different provider as a backup. He's got a good one as it is, Frankie Blue.
Yeah,
From
I got,
EE, which is a very good reputation
and I got their,
in Britain.
I kind of splurged and got their top level card for the month. So unlimited uploads, unlimited downloads at the top speeds they can go to. So yeah, because that's our backup if things go to shit. So yeah,
And the next one is just for me. Oh,
probably,
sorry.
I was going to say, I was going to say I'll probably get Algared one as well. So if things go to shit,
the
we've got
next
those as
one is
backup.
just for me. It's from Atlas Ran Gaming. How you doing, John? It's Atlas Ran, your long lost muddy mining buddy. I'm doing great, Atlas.
He won't remember you. What are you
vote in
talking
with the
about?
people.
Just got dementia. He doesn't remember anything. He thinks. Turn that earlier. Sorry, I'm trying to use his own joke against him.
It won't work.
Yeah.
Lots of people remember me, but there you go.
Yeah, you
Next
just don't remember them.
Yes, Atlas, we're doing well, except I got pulled in with these reprobates here, mate. But there you go. We've all got crosses to bear, haven't we?
Oh, the humanity is so hard done by. Right. Next question, please, sir.
This is Dub Coyote.
Mm-hmm.
They have to create assets from scratch for Star Engine. Once RSI is done, considering how different the aesthetics is from brand to brand, do you think it'll take as long to finish the next group? I should imagine that is.
I think that's kind of what you're seeing, and kind of what we were leading to. As they build out the libraries, you kind of see the pickup in speed, but the pickup in speed is, how do I word this right? It's more as they move from small to medium to large, it allows them to get the larger ones done sooner. But is that how you'd do it, Lemming? If you had to word it that way, or can you word it slightly differently?
Yeah, and that's why I think the BMM got shelved the way that it did. Is like none of its assets, none of anything that it would have in the ship is going to be usable by anybody else.
And it never will be, even based on the way
Yep.
the Banu are, because the Banu are basically an organic grown ship. You cannot essentially reuse the stuff because it's all curves, and it's all like there's no. You look at all the ships; they're all panels that essentially snap together. The Merchantman isn't like that. It's all interwoven and integrated. For example, if you add panels within biometrics, it doesn't look right. The only panels I've ever seen done organically would probably be the xenomorph stuff. You know how they kind of have pieces to them, where they have the like tendrils over the top and then things connected behind and stuff like that. So they still do kind of have panels in a way. Right, John, do you want to add to that, or you want next question?
Well, what the Merchantman reminds me of? Did you ever see the series Farscape?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah,
The
the
you're talking about
living ship in that.
is it the Leviathan or whatever it was called?
Yes, the Leviathan.
Yeah.
That's what springs to mind when I think of the Merchantman.
Yeah, and I'm almost insulted you're not knowing that was made in Australia. So of course I've seen.
That's okay. That's that one. The next question is from No Dragon. I don't really understand it, so if you can expand a bit on it in Twitch, Marcus, that would be good.
We'll just read it.
What the minimum viable product shall entail, which they show at the presentation? At least I assume so.
So minimum viable product, John, is like the minimal kind of playable state of a game, right?
Okay.
So what he's kind of alluding to, if I've heard you correctly and taking the question on board properly, is are they going to show the minimum viable product at CitizenCon? I don't know.
Oh, I got you.
I'm gonna say
Yeah.
no, because it's not made, or else we would be at 1.0. I think they will talk about it a lot, but they won't show it.
But again, you can't know. So I don't think you can answer yes or no, because quite honestly, they could go, oh, 1.0.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's likely, but they could. That's why I'm saying you can't know.
The question was about the panel on citcon.
Okay, let me. Again, I wish people would, when they talk about panels, they would mention the panel they're referring to. Context is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I think he means Squadron 42, but I could be completely wrong.
No, I think he's talking about the final panel of the day. The what does Star Citizen 1.0 look like?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that could be it.
This one here. So the stars in my destination, Star System 1.0. PvP, PvE, non-combat, what type of game Star Citizen? If you want answers, join us as we outline a high-level overview of Star System 1.0 and what intentions. So what... Yeah, that could be what the minimum... Yeah, again, that'll be a part of their plan. Are they going to do a minimum viable product? Are they going to drag it out and take 5 years? That's essentially what they're going to tell you there. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Is that okay for you, Marcus? Put yes or no in Twitch and...
Yep. Next one. Next question.
Okay, this is from Dead Frag. When will the new Polaris racing variant be predicted to drop? No interior, no guns, no jump drive, just engines. No Dragon said, "I thank you very much." That's what he meant.
When a sensible Brit turns up, that's when. So never. Right. Next question.
That's it.
Okay. Oh, we're done. Well, thank you two gents for joining me, Lemming and Mr. John Citizen. Sorry, I'm doing two things at once. I need to find someone to raid on Twitch. Can you see, Lemming? Can you check for me and see if Paul's streaming it on YouTube?
Logan is playing Star Citizen.
Yep, but I need someone to raid on YouTube as well. So can you just have a quick look and
Expat is streaming Star Citizen on Twitch. Who did you ask about?
Is Paul streaming on YouTube?
I don't.
You don't know who Paul is? Astropub.
I know who Paul is. I'm just having a look down at his.
Lucan. Below.
I don't think he is at the moment.
I don't think I can actually raid on Twitch. I just realized, because I'm having trouble logging in because of the authenticator, and
I can raid on Twitch.
Can you do it then? Okay, cool. Oh, sweet. Then that'll make it a lot easier. Lucan, but
see you in Manchester, Ryback 6.
Yep. I don't know. I can't see anyone else I know. Yo Meg's there. That'd be the only other one.
Before we go, could I ask people who are watching on YouTube just to give them a quick like, because it does help with the algorithm.
Okay.
If you don't mind, guys.
Who do you want to raid, John? Want to do Laken or Expat or?
Well, yeah, Expat has got.
All right.
Well, there's hang on a minute. Fierce there is playing Star Citizen. He's only got 9 viewers.
I don't know who that is. Is that someone you know?
I have watched him. I think he plays the guitar sometimes while he's watching.
Yeah, well, I'll let you pick. So, who do you want to raid? Since I'm staying at your place, who do you want to raid?
Yeah, I'm having to look down. Oh no, just trying to find people with Star Citizen.
I just try and raid people that I know. So the only ones I really know on there are Loken and Expat and Yo-Yo Meg.
Meg ain't too bad. He's a young lad. Yeah.
Yo-Yo Meg?
Yeah, if you like.
Right, Yo-Yo Meg, please. When you're ready, Lemming.
Yeah, I watched him a couple of times.
Just let us know when you're, so I can do my say goodbye to YouTube thing.
Okay, I am going to hit it right. Oh, sorry, I think you have 30 seconds.
All right, so YouTube, say goodbye to Twitch. Twitch, say goodbye to YouTube. John, say goodbye to Twitch.
Thank you for putting up with me, and thank everybody for listening in,
Yeah.
and hope they understood what we were talking about. Bye-bye.
Lemming, you say goodbye to the Twitch.
Bye, everyone.
All right, send them off.
Bye, everyone.
All right. As for that, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and thank you for everyone that subscribed as well and went the extra mile on Patreon at the end of the video. With that, then the voice in the void to you guys, it's to my right, but he's actually to my left, is John. So, John, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
And an American friend from Florida is Lemming, that's also voice in the void. Say goodbye, Lemming. Lemming has left, apparently.
Bye, everyone.
All right. And Algared hasn't been here, slack ass. But he'll be here at we're gonna try and do a stream the day before too, probably on the Wednesday or Thursday, and that's gonna be our what to expect from CitizenCon. So expect that again, and we'll be doing that with Paul. So look forward to that, and we're gonna do that as our test stream. All right, with that then, love you and leave you, guys. Next time, or what did I say? See you. God, I'm so terrible. All right.